Welcome to the RPG Talk Show. My name is Daniel Ivy, and this is...
John Welker, Vice President of RPG Research. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the research and development of role-playing games in all formats and genres for all players.
Yes. And we utilize this research to achieve recreational, leisure, educational, and therapeutic goals.
Today's main topic is Terrifying Tolkien, with a special guest, Brian Hughesland. And after Traps and Riddles today, we will be unboxing the One Ring starter set.
But first, just chatting. Now, we were, this is a topic that you brought up on the car ride here, and that is the different genres, not of horror, but of Halloween.
Before we get directly into the topic of the non-chat, I do want to mention that right now is a wonderful time for you to be a patron.
Yes.
Because if you're a patron, you're watching this pre-Halloween. If you're not a patron, you're going to be watching this post-Halloween.
Yeah.
So become a patron and get it while the topics are still relevant.
Yes. So, there's various subgenres of Halloween. Now, you had mentioned that it feels like, and I believe most of it is going to be horror, but not all Halloween stuff is horror.
Well, yes. What I'm saying is horror elements cannot be separated from Halloween.
Yeah, and this is something that I do believe, because for me, I have to, when it comes to horror and horror adjacent, I have to distinguish, is the intent of the film or media to scare, in which case I feel it deserves to be in horror, or does it just have a relationship where, okay, some of the stuff is unsettling, and we're talking, I don't think there's any real elements in Halloween that we don't have a kind of spooky relationship with.
Right.
You were mentioning that, okay, we masquerades, but then it's just costumes, and that's not really Halloween.
Right, and masquerade balls happen all year round.
Yeah.
They don't have a special thing. Now, Halloween costumes are different, even if some people are dressing up as the sexy nurse.
Yeah.
But the thing I want to say is that one person's light humor is another person's terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was watching two videos on animated features. One was 10 banned animated features.
Okay.
From the 70s.
Okay.
I have watched at least half of those. And one of those was listed again. So the number one from banned was listed as number 6 on the creepiest animated Halloween or horror related.
Yeah.
And so it had categories under there like Black Cauldron.
Yeah.
The Last Unicorn.
That's considered horror?
He said creepy.
I wouldn't even consider The Last Unicorn creepy.
Oh, except...
It's wonderful. I love it, but it's not creepy. I mean, okay, maybe the Red Bull can be unsettling, but...
That was his primary defense. He didn't even go into the skeleton.
With the drinking problem.
Yeah, and the harpy.
Yeah.
Which, depending on your age group, depending on your relation to these topics, would be, for some people, considered horror. It was, for some people, the Red Bull was terrifying. Do you know what the one I was talking about that made number 6?
What was it?
On the band? No, number 1 on the band list, but number 6 on the creepiest?
Which one?
Watership Down.
Okay, so I don't think the intent of Watership Down is to scare people.
Oh, you're so wrong. The intent is there. It is intentional there. And it was marketed to children. It is the most horrifying G-rated movie ever.
Yeah. So, okay, I don't think that I'm. This is a hill I'm dying on here. Okay.
Okay.
It
was nice knowing you.
I don't believe Watership Down's intent was to scare people. I think Watership Down's intent was to traumatize people. There's a difference.
It was trauma.
It was traumatic.
It was trauma through terror.
Yeah.
I read the book.
Mm-hmm.
Then I watched the movie, and I honestly can't tell you on which was worse.
Which
for
was
me.
worse? Yeah. And this is kind of like a meme amongst millennials, and I'm a millennial, that there's a ton of movies that, which one traumatized you? And one, Wash It Down. Yeah, that one's traumatizing. That is one of those movies where I will put it in the realm of, if you're watching this, expect to be traumatized. Some of these others that I've seen on people's lists, no. Secret of the Nim, not traumatizing.
But it was on the list of creepy horror, creepy animated shows.
Was it creepy? Yeah. It's Don Bluth. There's aspects of American Tail that's creepy. I wouldn't put it as horror.
Right. But again, he's saying these were creepy shows.
Yeah.
And then his number one, he says this obviously isn't the most scary.
Yeah.
But it is the one that creeps me personally the most out. And that was Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay. That's to quote the dude, I think that's just your opinion, dude.
But yes, it is an opinion, and it is a valid one.
It is a valid.
That can be backed up by finding Oogie Boogie spilling out his bugs.
Oh yeah, it's Tim Burton. Tim Burton lives and breathes creepy. It doesn't mean every single time his intent is to scare you.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes it is.
Yeah. I mean, look at Frankenweenie.
Was Frankenweenie's intent to scare you? I think it was just creepy.
It was just creepy.
Yeah.
But you can't really state what their intent is. All you can state is your relationship to the show.
So there is the relationship to the show, but I do believe you can map out certain, sets. You can do. I do believe you can map out to a certain degree authorial intent.
Right.
So when you have, there are certain mechanisms, for example, in horror, where they're setting up the scare. Where one thing that I mentioned was, especially for jump scares, and jump scares are cheap, but if there are jump scares, then, oh look, the intent is to scare you. It's a cheap intent, but it's there. Where you have the camera starts off at a medium shot and starts getting closer and closer and closer, and right before the jump scare, you cut back to a medium shot, and that's when the jump scare happens. That's a tactic. You can map those tactics out. There's your intent. You get the intent by how things are presented, as opposed to, oh, there's a skeleton on screen.
Right.
Yeah.
So, just because it has spooky elements in it, doesn't mean it's... Well, there's a category called comic horror.
Yeah.
Not cosmic horror.
Yeah,
comic horror. So, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Okay. Yeah, that's, so I feel like there should be a different... I think there's a difference between comic horror and horror comedy.
I'm not sure.
Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, that's comic horror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, horror comedy.
I'm not sure if that clarification is necessary. But the idea that some horror elements are meant to be funny.
Oh, yeah.
So how... Now, just to make sure we're talking to everybody, the role-playing gamers, is when we're talking about genres, these are things that you can put into your stories.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's what role-playing is, telling stories.
Yeah, and for me, like, I know that we are kind of splitting the hairs on, what is the intent versus is it spooky. Your main theme of your game could be horror, where the point is you're creepy.
Mm.
But that doesn't mean that you can't take your non-creepy stories, or your intent isn't to scare people, but you can inject some horror in there. It doesn't mean that it has to be the bread and butter of the story.
Right. And some of the different types of horror that I wanted to bring forth for Halloween theme, to be Halloween specific, is like, you don't need Slaughterpunk. Slaughterpunk, yeah.
Slaughterpunk.
You don't need...
And did you want to give, for people who are not familiar with Splatterpunk,
okay,
what that is?
Splatterpunk is a subgenre of horror where that aims at emphasizing the gory, visceral, and often extreme nature of horror. But what you questioned earlier was, where's the political commentary?
Yeah.
If it's punk, it has to have political commentary. Yeah. And this, the political commentary is the decay of society.
There you go. Yeah.
And to include extreme hedonism.
Hedonism, yeah.
Hedonism. But, so it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be slasher or any of those other things.
Yeah.
We can have, if you want to do traditional horror stories that are for Halloween, I think you should focus more on Gothic.
Yeah.
Historical. Folk horror.
Yeah.
And things that are more centered around pagan origins of Halloween.
Yeah.
When you're looking at the genres and the story elements that you might want to capture for Halloween, you look at the Halloween tree.
What is the Halloween tree?
The Halloween tree is a Ray Bradbury novel. There is a movie out, and I've got to find the DVD because I can never find it to watch streaming. So Ray Bradbury wrote this story where these, one of the friends is dying, and they meet up with this guy that looks like a cross between the Vulture and Dracula. Spider-Man's Vulture. He's got that big long nose, and he's got his vampire cape on, and he takes these kids on an adventure where he's basically teaching them the history of Halloween through 4 cultures.
Nice.
Day of the Dead, the Egyptian relation to it, the medieval European.
Yeah.
And he combines all of these stories to tell the true history of Halloween. Modern day Halloween is a result of Christian changes to a pagan
holiday,
and there have been a movement to remove all this spooky All Hallows Eve material and just make it a harvest festival, which is hilarious. Only because all the spooky modern versions of Halloween was put there by Christians. And to return it to a harvest festival is to return it to its pagan roots.
So, I admit I am not pagan. I have many pagan friends. I have been to many pagan festivals. I feel like there is a space for harvest festivals. I feel like there should be harvest festivals. I don't feel it should supplant Halloween, because I feel Halloween and those Halloween, All Saints Day, and Day of the Dead. I feel like there's a central concept in there where there's a thinning of the veil.
Right.
And that thinning of the veil, I think, it just happens to be around the Harvest Festival. But if you're just doing Harvest Festival, okay, that's a Harvest Festival. Look, it's
You can do Harvest Festival instead
Yeah.
of Thanksgiving.
Right, you can. And I would argue, especially considering some of the political stuff going around Thanksgiving, yeah, just make it a Harvest Festival. But for Halloween, no, you're talking about the thing of the veil. And that thing of the veil is between our world and another realm.
Yeah.
That
And I don't want to
inherently
get too much into the politics of religion here.
Right.
Whether they're right or wrong, what really matters is how do you want to tell your Halloween story.
Yeah.
Christianity is wonderful
Mhm.
for background stories of Gothic horror,
Mhm.
especially Southern Gothic horror.
Oh yeah. I
There's-
also like Appalachian horror, which is different from Southern horror.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
there's an Appalachian horror called The Old Gods of Appalachia.
Mm-hmm.
It's a role-playing game,
Ooh.
and it gets more into that folk horror.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a slight. It's not the same category, but folk horror just borders on with cryptids.
Yeah.
Because that's they're adjacent.
Yeah. One of the things that I've also enjoyed about some of the Appalachian horror stuff that I've come across is there's something very fey about some of the rules. Where if you're walking down the street, walking through the woods, and you hear whistling, no, you didn't. There are certain rules that they don't make sense in normal society, but if you're in Appalachian horror, you absolutely have to follow those rules, or you may not come home.
And yeah, you're absolutely right. That is, there's a lot of fae in those type of horror stories. Fairy tales can be extremely whimsical, or the same fairy tale can be absolute nightmare fuel.
Yeah, it's like, why did they call it Grimm's Fairy Tale? Oh, I know that I'm conflating them.
Yeah,
but yeah, sometimes they're putting the Grimm in Grimm's Fairy Tales.
Yeah, the Grimm's brothers wrote the Grimm's fairy tales.
Yes,
but they were grim.
Absolutely, and they are some of my favorites. By the way, if it isn't apparent, Halloween is my #1 favorite holiday.
There are other holidays.
Yeah, there are.
Oh, no,
yeah.
no. I'm joking. I don't want to get
There's
into
All Saints Day. There's.
How do you say that in Spanish?
I don't speak Spanish. I don't know, but I know that there's also Day of the Dead.
De la Muerte.
Something mortis. Yeah, I'm not going to try and butcher it. Every time I've tried, it's been butchered.
Right.
Yeah. But one of the things that I also mentioned on this car ride here was I actually came up with, off the top of my head, 3 movies that I don't believe are horror, that are still Halloween-centric.
Okay. What were they?
So, actually, one of them you already know, so I'm actually going to expand that to 4 movies.
Okay.
Okay? So, not including the 13 Ghosts and Scooby-Doo, because you brought that one up. Okay?
Well, 13 Ghosts?
Yeah.
That's not horror?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. But you're the one who brought up Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
I'm not including Scooby-Doo.
13 Ghosts is literally a ghost story where a house was built as a ghost trap.
Oh, no. There's 13 Ghosts and there's Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts.
Oh, okay. Two different
things.
Yeah.
Okay. So right off the bat, Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't think the intent is to scare people. It's spooky. It's Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Although Tim Burton didn't direct it, there's a whole thing that goes on about it. But Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah. They're spooky and they're creepy. The Addams Family.
Well, I mean, we can say the Addams Family as well, so let's add those on there. Paranorman.
Right.
I don't think Paranorman is horror. Is it spooky and creepy? Absolutely. I don't think the intent is to scare. Next.
Right.
Coco.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is definitely Day of the Dead.
That is Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
And for me, because I saw it first, and I actually like it more than Coco, the Book of Life.
Remind me.
The Book of Life is basically take Day of the Dead. It was done. It feels kind of like stop motion, done by Guillermo del Toro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it is. I feel more Day of the Dead than Coco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Coco's kind of a Disney-fied version of Day of the Dead.
It's Pixar, and Pixar has been supplanted by Disney. It's Disney-fied. It's very, very sanitized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas DreamWorks is less so. So yeah, those were my four. Nightmare Before Christmas, Coco, Book of Life, and Paranorman. None of those I feel are horror, and all of them I feel are worthwhile Halloween movies.
Right. Well, one of the things to point out again is that one person's horror is another person's comedy.
Oh yeah.
And it's your relationship with it. But when you're looking to tell stories, comedy is just fine for Halloween.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There is a Christmas story. I know it's not Halloween, but there's a Christmas module where Krampus is leading a revolt of gingerbread men. And snow, that kind of stuff. For all the holidays, we can get a little bit into the Christmas stuff. Some Christmas stories are pure horror.
Oh, absolutely.
Some of them are meant to be horror.
Yes.
Like the not Nightmare. There have been slasher horrors.
Silent Night.
Yeah.
Silent Night.
But there's also been Krampus movies.
Yeah.
That have some horror elements. There's been actually 2 Krampus movies that I can think of right at the top of my head. One of them is a kids-friendly Krampus story where an elf has to try to beat Krampus in an arm wrestling competition.
Yeah.
Then there is the Krampus the Horror movie where it's more based on the original stories of Krampus of kidnapping children and killing people.
Yeah.
Then there's other elements, like we have a giant Norwegian cat, the Christmas cat, who's big as a house and will kill you for not wearing new clothes.
Oh, jeez.
So is this a commentary about poor folks who didn't receive any new clothes? That they're just going to get killed by a giant mountainous cat?
So here's, and I know that, this is going on to the Christmas stuff, but I might as well, put it here because I don't know if we're going to have a Christmas episode. We don't know. I feel like there is a space where, especially with the the rise of Krampus and whatnot.
Who's been around longer than...
Oh, yeah. But there has been a resurgence of the concept of Krampus.
Yeah.
I don't see how Krampus is inherently opposed or should be opposed by Santa Claus. They're effectively doing the same thing.
Well,
it's a carrot and the stick.
Yeah. Now you're arguing the other elements of Christmas legend.
Yes.
That is not been that is not the St. Nicholas model.
Yeah. See, I would love a movie where part of it is, okay, we start off with Santa Claus, and everyone knows, like, he makes a list, he checks it twice. He knows who's naughty or nice. He gets the nice list. Krampus gets the naughty list.
Right. But there's also tradition of other people besides Krampus doing this job,
Yeah.
there is a witch, not unlike Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
There is Black Pete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's Black Pete carries the coal.
Yeah.
But all of these, there is, in a lot of stories, if you're on the good side, you're going to get Santa. If you're going to be on the bad side, you're going to get someone else.
Right.
And how terrifying it is depending on your story level.
Mm-hmm.
There are some where you're just going to get cold, and there are some where you're going to get snatched up, put in a cauldron, and beat with twigs.
Yeah. Or worse.
Yeah.
Or worse, yes.
And there seems to be an element of horror in a lot of genres that we don't even think of having them.
Oh, yes.
I mean, some people can find the idea of an all-knowing, all-seeing, practically deity-type folk who's watching you every minute.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole, he knows when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, he knows when, that Santa Claus can be creepy.
Yeah. We're not going to even get in the jokes of you're on the naughty list, you get 2 gifts.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about that later.
But the whole idea of looking at the elements of our stories, most of them, back in a time when they were meant to be cautionary tales, are fairy tales, are Native American stories.
Yeah.
All had creatures in there, and a good number of them were creatures that punished wrongdoing.
Yes.
The stories about people becoming, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a ghoul from cannibalism.
Oh, like the Wendigo.
Like the Wendigo.
Yeah.
That's a cautionary tale to tell you not to eat humans.
Yeah. Although I actually found out recently that I don't believe that's the only one that is Native American with cannibalism. And if anything, the Wendigo that most people think of with the whole deer antler and whatnot, that's not the Wendigo.
Well,
that's a different creature.
It was a Hollywood artist's idea of what the Wendigo could look like, and it was in a movie, and it captured people's imagination.
Oh, it's very evocative. Absolutely. I'm saying that design is for a different creature.
Is there a different creature that looks like that in Native American?
Yes,
okay, is. What is that?
I can't remember.
Oh,
I can't.
The worst monster ever. I can't remember.
Yeah, but the Wendigo is supposed to, very much like what is it? Marvel's Wendigo, big white furry beast that will hunt you down and murder you and eat you.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one that looks like the deer antler is more psychological. He'll still kill you, but he wants you terrified first.
Right.
Yeah. And I want to say that both of them have connections to cannibalism. Yeah.
One of the other things to look at is you've got modules like Curse of Strahd that are obviously good every Halloween.
Yes.
And those are big realm shaking horror stories. But we also have the cottage horror stories.
Yeah.
Where you're getting down into that a person carrying a turnip with a piece of hellfire in it.
Yeah, the original jack-o'-lanterns.
Yes.
Yeah.
What happens in the small village, Midsummer. The movie, which is folk horror.
Mm-hmm.
And they're for it. A witch, spelt VV,
Yeah.
is a folk horror,
Mm-hmm.
not fairy tale, with the devil, and it's terrifying, but it's a small impact. One of the ways to get horror is one, make it small.
Yeah. Not just make it personal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Make it personal that it's not a ghost. It's the ghost of the print shop owner from
It's someone you knew.
And
yeah.
His weakness is ink.
Mm-hmm.
But you knowing or having somebody in the story that knows this ghost personally.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one person was saying, the worst part about horror in role-playing games is...
What's that?
The players.
Yeah. You need to have a certain amount of buy-in.
Yeah. You need to have that buy-in where you're going to not look for every moment to spring into levity.
Mm-hmm.
The humor moments are fine, especially if you're doing tension. Little humor, big scare.
Oh yeah, and for me this is a big thing, and I fully admit I've been one of those players who's like, yeah, you're trying to inject horror into this. Like, no, for me I don't find this scary. Like I was I was playing in the Dead House, and there was a creepy doll that keeps on turning around to you, and I was playing a warlock who happened to have mage hand, and I can do that all day, and I was like, yeah, okay, you're looking at me, mage hand, turn. Turns back on. Mage hand, turn. Are you actually going to do anything? No. Mage hand, turn. For me, I needed that game master to actually inject more than just the tapestry that is horror. For me, the tapestry of it being spooky isn't horror. How are you going to scare me?
Well, part of the way of scaring the reluctant person is they have to buy into not the idea of challenging the dungeon master to make it scary enough. It is treat it like you are a character in a horror movie. Do stupid things.
Yeah.
Have the chainsaw, the shotgun, and a candle that's almost burnt out, and you take that.
See, and this is just me. This is one of the reasons why I have a problem with so many horror movies. Is I do not like the idea that the horror movie exists because of dumb people. I want horror that is horror even when the person is smart.
Right. And that is a valid thing.
Yeah.
But if you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable, then there's no way to be horrifying. If I, as the person out there controlling the character, refuse to allow my character to be afraid, to refuse to allow him to be vulnerable and perhaps separated from the party. Oh, you go there, you go there, you go there. If you do all of the logical, intelligent, survival mode things that you would hopefully do in real life in the same situation, then you're not going to experience the ghost story that's there.
Yeah.
So there is a thing. Yes, the game master has to present the tapestry, has to get the mood lighting, and maybe some music, candles, things to help evoke that thing, and try to tell a story. Things he can do is not say what the monster is.
Yeah.
Never say what the monster is in your horror story. Let the players think that out. Because as soon as the player hears the word werewolf, their brain automatically goes to everything they know that can defeat a werewolf.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that I'm trying to get at, where there are ways that can enhance that buy-in. And one of those is if I say, oh, there's a werewolf in the scene. Okay, now you know what a werewolf is. Some people will say, oh, that's scary, without getting into why are werewolves scary.
Right. And I
Yeah.
definitely agree with that, as a game master, you want to introduce the elements, but you also shouldn't have to fight against the player
Mm-hmm.
who wants to destroy those elements.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'm going to be playing Jekyll's the Clown and finding every humorous thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, there's a werewolf. I'm going to throw a ball.
See, okay, there are some players who are going to be that. And it takes a more advanced, GM's like, okay, you're going to do that? Let's wrap it up. You throw the ball. Fine. The ball comes back. There's a severed hand attached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm saying, player buy-in is extremely important.
It is.
I've had people that I'm telling a horror story to, through a role-playing game, and I had a guy. He's like, "I'm not going to play this anymore." I goes, "Why?" It feels like just a regular D&D game. It's not hitting those elements.
Yeah.
And so, if anything, you have to be more evocative as the DM.
Yeah.
You have to hit more of the senses,
Mm-hmm.
especially the intangible ones.
Yes. Yes. And this is I don't know if I've told you this, but I know that I've told Rain, and this is one of those things where, I'm not a huge fan of horror.
Right.
Yeah. Now I can say that, but I want to go into this. There are two primary reasons why I'm not a huge fan of horror, and they're actually not connected. I just happen to realize that for me, I on either end, I'm not happy.
Mm-hmm.
So on one end, I don't like being scared. I just don't enjoy it. For me, I don't get a certain catharsis from having those emotions brought up in me.
Right. And that's one of the things where if you know that is your thing, then perhaps not playing in a horror game is best for you.
Yeah, so I do avoid those. I avoid watching horror movies for two reasons. One of them is if it's a really good horror movie, I will give it all the credit in the world and be out of that room. I don't like being scared.
Mm-hmm.
The other part is I've too many times I've seen they're trying to make it scary and the craftsmanship is just not there. And quite simply, I like Halloween. I don't necessarily want to watch a crappy movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either I'm going to be disappointed in the craftsman of the movie, or the craftsmanship is going to be there, and now I'm scared and I don't enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, like some of the Disney teenage Halloween stories.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Where they're live action.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Wizards of Waverly Place with zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. So your problem becomes that
I'm in this donut hole.
yeah. If how do you do enough creepiness?
Mm-hmm.
How do you provide the craftsmanship and still not get to
terrified?
Scaring you.
Yeah. So for me, that means I like a lot of the spooky stuff where the intent isn't to try and scare me. So like I like here's a Halloween movie from the 80s that I actually enjoy. Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the Goonies. The intent no one's trying to be scared there. There's
Or
a lot of
Creature
fun.
Commandos.
Yeah.
There are a lot of choices where the actual scary, but when you're playing the character in one of those stories, you have to at least allow the character to be scared.
Oh yeah.
Even if you're not.
Yes. And for me, I admit I do have issues with that, which is one of the reasons why with those scenarios, I actually prefer to be on the GM side.
Right. I
Yeah.
prefer to be on the GM side just because I generally prefer to be on the GM side. I don't play much.
That, and for me, I prefer being on the GM side. If I'm doing horror, I want to make sure that the safety tools are there.
Definitely great point.
Yeah.
Your session 0 should discuss what the themes of it is.
Yeah.
You should be passing out the RPG consent sheet.
Yeah.
And having people say what they're okay with, and people who are not okay with.
Mm-hmm. You should know what the hard lines are, and make sure you don't step over them.
Right. And as a game master, fill out the form yourself.
Yeah, because you're a participant in the game as well.
Right. You have to know what your lines are.
Yeah.
And you may not have thought about them until somebody in the game tries to cross it.
Yeah. It may be one of, and we've talked about this before, where we discover lines. And it isn't just like, oh, well, you didn't write it down, I can cross this line however I want. No, if you're a responsible GM, you find out what those lines are, and you back off. Yeah.
Exactly.
Who cares if, oh, you didn't write it down? The point of the game is to have fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the point of any Halloween game is to have fun.
Yeah.
You can do the Halloween dressing. So let's say you're going to do, it's Halloween time, the decorations are out.
Yeah.
And you're actually just looking for a lost treasure or a lost person or solving a non-supernatural murder mystery.
Yeah.
Those can all be done.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm going to do a murder mystery, I'm going to have to deal with the costumes.
Yeah.
To make the murder mystery a little more things. We're not talking about people walking around as a slasher.
Yeah.
But finding out that the murderer is the one who's dressed like Mary Poppins. Or ironically, Shaggy.
Shaggy.
Shaggy's the murderer.
So before we end this segment, there's one other thing that I feel is important, and I don't think we've touched upon this.
What's that?
I feel this helps the horror aspect, and I feel honestly, like this one thing helps transition from this is it's got spooky elements and really ineffective attempts to scare people.
Yeah.
And people are invested and can be scared. And what are the stakes? If in a horror setting, the players or the player characters don't feel like they can lose something, then what is there to be afraid of?
Right. And there's a lot to lose in horrors. Sanity.
Yeah.
Life.
Control of your character.
Hmm?
Control of your character.
Yes.
Yeah. Valuable NPCs.
Exactly.
Beloved NPCs. So, I believe we have a guest.
Yes.
For the main topic.
So for our main topic, which is terrifying Tolkien.
Yes.
Talking about horror in
Lord of the Rings.
The Lord of the Rings and other of his writings. Right now, our guest is coming in the house.
Yep.
So we're going to take a break right now and get set up for our guest.
So after these messages, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the RPG Talk Show. We have with us Brian?
That's right.
Yes.
Brian Huselin. Now, Brian is a RPG research member. He is our Tolkien expert.
More so than Hawk.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah. It's a close tie.
Yes.
The only person I think that can really keep up with him is on the talk show. Just got canceled.
Oh, right. Yeah.
because he claims to be the foremost scholar.
Oh yes,
And
yeah, Colbert.
Oh, Colbert, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colbert could go toe to toe with me, and he probably would beat me. He'd probably trounce me, pretty sure.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't mind Colbert, coming here and trying to prove that.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, I would pay
Lay down the gauntlet.
to do that.
That would be fun. That'd be fun.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
You are in RPG research.
Yes.
You are a Tolkien scholar.
Yep.
You have a group that you meet with on
That's right.
the third Saturday of the month.
We do. Yep, we're so it's the Tolkien Society of the Inland Northwest, and we meet once a month, and we basically go through the written works of J.R.R. Tolkien, and try to explore kind of what he's writing about. We usually read one of his letters, so we've been going chronologically. We've been going from some of the earliest ones in the 1920s that because he kept copies of most of his letters that he sent out. So these are letters that he wrote to other people, his publishers, for example, his relatives. And so anyway, we're somewhere in I think we're in the early 1960s at this point. And so it's interesting to hear him, for example, talking about, publishing recently The Return of the King. And so his, thoughts about his, what he's written, The Lord of the Rings, The Silmarillion, The Hobbit, those things. So it's exciting. We love it. It's a small group, but we do meet online, and it's a lot of fun.
I just had a memory that in the 1970s, I do believe it was, I was seeing a sticker on a bus as it was driving by, and it said like something. It was either Bilbo or Frodo, but I'm pretty sure it was Frodo Lives.
It was Frodo Lives.
Yeah.
And that was because of the huge kind of tension of the end of the Two Towers, which kind of, without spoilers, but essentially you've got this moment where it seems that Frodo is dead, but then at the very end, his friend Sam discovers that Frodo was alive but taken by the enemy, and that's how the Two Towers ends. And so people who were waiting for that first edition,
about a cliffhanger.
had to wait like 2 years. A bit like, I suppose, for maybe our generation, it might be like Star Wars, where you're waiting a couple years to see what the next, how is this going to resolve or whatever. But anyway, it's definitely, that was a huge cultural, kind of pop cultural intersection there with Tolkien, and kind of becoming popular again. Maybe you have the first kind of the 1950s and early 1960s when it's published, but then it took a while, and then it really caught on with the counterculture, and it became kind of a rallying cry of hope in some ways, because the 1960s were a time where hope was in short supply. And so this idea that Frodo lives was kind of like, it made people happy. And then of course The Return of the King is kind of like how that story all plays out, and the happy ending.
Okay. Now, our main topic is terror in Tolkien.
That's right.
Yes.
As I like to say it, terrifying Tolkien.
Yeah.
So, not the pedestrians while he's driving.
Exactly.
But that probably happened. Yes.
He's why they wrote Toad of Toad Hill.
Yes, the Toad of Toad Hall with in The Wind of the Willows. Yeah.
Anyways, so this is our Halloween episode.
Right.
And if you're a sponsor or a Patreon, you're going to be able to watch this prior to Halloween. If you're not, you're going to be a little late to the show. But, good reason to become a Patreon.
Yeah.
We wanted to bring you in on this conversation because in my mind's eye, and we talked about the relationship of the reader to the topic.
Right.
That while Tolkien seems to be high fantasy or high middle fantasy at the very least, it has elements of it that are pure horror.
Yeah, that's a great point, John. I think that Tolkien is not typically thought of as a horror writer, right? So, like, for example, you think of like Cthulhu, or and that's of course older, but there's more recent ones, maybe Stephen King, for example, and then more recent ones than that. But definitely he wouldn't typically be thought of in that same kind of milieu or group of authors that you would go to.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be the horror genre writer. He's not Clive Barker or Edgar Allan Poe even.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's interesting, right? Because I feel like how we look at horror is different than maybe people used to.
Right.
Because of the whole element, like how does dread versus the jump scare, and of course some of this depends on whether you're reading, which is going to be more slow burn as opposed to cinema or TV. So there's different media require different kinds of things, I suppose. But I think people used to look at horror much like they would look at science fiction differently in the 1950s. If you go back to like the golden age,
right,
the 1940s and 50s, there's much more this idea of what if we don't know what's maybe out there, and so you could speculate all about planets before they had been photographed and explored a bit more. And so once they're photographed and explored,
the canals of Mars.
Yeah, for sure, Edgar Rice Burroughs, and I think so. There's a sense in which, with sci-fi, you had kind of, and this is something Tolkien and Lewis and a lot of their friends, the Inklings, they had this great discussion, which can be found in a book called Of Other Worlds, which is about science fiction, and they kind of have this discussion which was recorded, but sci-fi pretty much kind of underwent a transformation where it became much more specific, and there's a lot more jargon. It's a lot more based on a technical understanding of things.
Well, even science fiction has its subgenres. Yeah. We have hard science fiction where, we're pretty much sure we can do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we like have, the Martian. Like the Martian.
Like the Martian. Yeah. Or even Star Trek, which was at the time wasn't thought of as hard science until we made almost all the gadgets they have.
That's true. You could make an argument that the old Star Trek was less so, but definitely next gen and future ones. I haven't really thought so much about this with the different versions that it came out, but definitely next gen when it kind of premiered in the late 80s, it was definitely more hard science. Yeah. We wanted to know kind of how the engine room kind of worked, as it were. Yeah. And I think
I do have a suspicion though that a lot of the scientists and engineers that we have modern day are just huge Star Trek fans, and they're just trying to make what they saw.
Well, we saw that, didn't we, Dan, with mobile phones, for sure.
Yes.
That all was, so it's interesting. I feel like there's maybe kind of a parallel here with horror, right? So you had maybe some of the older writers who would write something that was much more dependent on a sense of the unknown being terrifying.
Yes.
Or maybe, the kind of, if you look at H.G. Wells, I think one of the first experiences I had of horror was actually War of the Worlds.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And it was because of the thought of something that's alien. And so that always is a good place to go.
You were talking about how the science fiction was adapting and changing over time. A lot of people aren't aware that the original War of the Worlds was in the 1800s, 1860s. And the one that scared everybody on the radio, which was 1933?
Something like that.
It was a retelling.
Was a modernization of the original story.
Wow.
And then we've gotten all the way up to the
one by Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
Okay. Isn't that interesting though? Because that shows there's something about the human experience, right? That you could probably go back to like the Gilgamesh epic and find like some aspect of it that's like horrifying. And I think that's interesting, right? So these all collect under the tales.
Oh, Gilgamesh, the original superhero fighting monsters. And Gilgamesh wasn't that good of a guy anyways.
Right. Right. So I think so Tolkien is known as a fantasy author, but I think because he was not pulling from tropes, he was digging deep into the source material. He read widely. He had a really good sense of kind of northern European fear as well as hope. And so I think fantasy majors in hope, minors in fear. I would say horror probably majors in fear, minors in hope. Maybe that would be just kind of.
I think that's a very interesting dynamic. Yeah,
it is,
and I would completely agree with you.
Which has a role playing connection as well. Not to sidetrack, but
no, actually, that's the part.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So Daggerheart.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you have two dice. You have a hope die and you have a fear die, and you roll those, and the results will. And I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that that's an interesting kind of game that they kind of had the alpha or beta version a year or two ago, and now they're coming out with the final product, and I think that's an interesting dynamic to consider when you're looking at role playing.
Yeah.
So,
what are some good examples of Tolkien using horror elements or just presenting a terrifying scene?
Great. Yeah. I've got several thoughts to share with you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with The Lord of the Rings because that's what most people are familiar with as far as works that Tolkien's written. Of course, he wrote The Hobbit.
Isn't it amazing that The Hobbit wasn't first?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because, so The Hobbit, he wrote The Hobbit first, then he wrote The Lord of the Rings, and then after he died, his son Christopher kind of, compiled all of his work that he had done on the kind of the overarching story, and then that became the Silmarillion. But yeah, in terms of the movies, The Lord of the Rings was really, as far as live action, was created first. So The Lord of the Rings, I'm going to read. So here I'm going to give you kind of a countdown first, and then I want to read a selection. A short selection, which shouldn't get you into any trouble as long as that's a short part. But anyway, so I put this down. So countdown. I was going to do top 5, but I have to squeeze in 6.
So honorable mention.
Oh yes, honorable mention. Paths of the Dead. So you have this, experience where in the book really not described much, but in the movie, of course, is just shown more. But it's based on that idea that you have Aragorn and his companions going through the Dwemerholt, which is this canyon, and it's this increasing dread that they have because no one goes there. And the Rohirrim as a culture in Middle Earth is very tends to be very superstitious or just more, maybe in a positive way you might say more sensitive to those things.
Right.
For example, they look at Galadriel with suspicion. They're like, she's a sorceress. They're just very wary about the danger of magic. And so they know that there's these men who were oath breakers who died, but because they had broken their oath to Isildur and had not fought with him, but they abandoned him, this kind of treason, because Tolkien knows going back into the Middle Ages and before, to break a promise is considered worse than murder.
Yeah.
And so these oath breakers are not allowed to depart in peace when their bodies die naturally or whatever. Their souls remain. So these ghosts, they stay there. And so Aragorn has to go there, and he has to go through this very harrowing experience of going through the paths of the dead where people have tried, it's a whole, some go in but none come out kind of thing.
Right.
And there's even a hint of the danger present of those who've tried before. There's one prince, he wasn't even a king, but he was like the heir of Rohan, and he went in. It was Helm's, I think Helm's, I'm not right on, I don't have it in front of me, but it was close to about the time of Helm Hammerhand. But anyway, this guy goes in and he tries to find the secrets and maybe the treasure. And they later on, when Aragorn and his company go through, they actually find there's a skeleton of a man, and he'd come to this door and was trying to get through or get out. I think maybe it had been shut against him.
Yeah.
But his legs were broken. Ooh. And not from a fall. So these spirits, it's suggested that they broke his legs and then just let him die a slow death, not being able to get out. So the kind of the fear of not being able to escape. Anyway, that's my 6th. The countdown then would be number 5, The Watcher in the Water. So this is truly a memorable moment in the movie where they're trying to enter into Misty Mountains. Gandalf's trying to figure out, what is the password?
Yeah.
Is that the unnamed or the unnameable are those creatures.
Yes. So there's this kind of whole hint of the things that are unnamed that dwell below the mountains, and this is one of them that has somehow found, access to the outside. And so it's really almost like the tip of the iceberg, like this watcher in the water that they deal with and have to escape from, who, because it's trying to grab them with tentacles from the water and pull them in. If you feel like there's more of these, there's more that we don't even know. They're nameless, and that isn't that part of the horror.
Yeah.
Things that without a name.
Yeah, there's nothing to really grasp on. It is even though I don't think it was a direct draw, but it was kind of a Cthulhuistic monster.
Yeah.
Where you're not even seeing the whole of it.
There you go.
You're just seeing the little bits that are surfacing, but you don't really have an idea of what the rest of it is. Is it a giant pseudopod, or is it a crab-like creature with tentacles? You have no idea what's actually under the water.
And I feel like one of the other aspects of it, and for me this goes more into it being kind of like Lovecraftian, is it isn't just that you don't know. With the name like the Nameless, you're not supposed to know.
Right.
That forbidden knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's something ancient.
Yes.
Yeah. It's interesting, this off to a side note. So Jaws just celebrated its 50th anniversary.
Yes.
And I'm old enough to remember seeing it when I was young, and probably a little too young, and had nightmares. And for a long time, going into a lake, swimming pool, it could be a bathtub. I was sure there was a shark in there. and so yeah, and that would be a great example of this, because you see like a dorsal fin, and that's all it would take is that sense of there's much that you don't see, but just seeing part of it is actually in some ways more horrifying.
Yeah.
And that's what I think Tolkien did really well, and Lovecraft. It's the hint of things. It's what you can't see that freaks you out almost.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like horror, and I'm certainly not an expert on this, but I would feel that horror in the 21st century is more like, well, how can we overwhelm you with something that's super scary, gory, whatever.
Yeah.
But,
and this is actually getting into something that we were talking about earlier in the Just Chatting, where I was talking about how there are certain fundamentals when it comes to horror.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. Being Alien.
Oh, right. Yeah.
One of the things about Alien and Predator, both of those, the original movies as opposed to what came afterwards,
right,
is they barely showed you what that monster was.
Right.
They let your imagination take over.
Right.
And that is a part of good horror.
Yeah.
Where you don't give them everything. Yeah. But the minute you see the full glory of the alien in the rubber suit, the fear's gone.
Yeah. That's a good point.
There's a movie called The Bird Box. And
you never get to see what it is.
Yeah. You're not supposed to, because if you see it, you're dead.
So maybe, yeah, it's like, would we want to? Yeah, it's that whole question. That is and that's a fascinating way of kind of including the reader or the viewer into that sense.
And one of the things where this aspect hits role playing is, as a game master, less is more.
Right.
Yes.
Do not tell the players they're being attacked by a werewolf.
Right.
Hint at it.
Right.
Yeah.
Leave clues. And if it does show up, still don't name it. Just describe it in detail.
Right.
And let them make their own lines up of what's happening.
It's a bright sunny day, and I still have shadows to use.
I love how Tolkien builds this moment. He says, so at that moment from far off, the wind bore to their listening ears the howling of wolves. Bill the pony started in fear, and Sam sprang to his side and whispered softly to him. Do not let him run away, said Boromir. It seems that we shall need him still if the wolves do not find us. How I hate this foul pool. He stooped, and picking up a large stone, he cast it far into the dark water. The stone vanished with a soft slap. But at the same instant there was a swish and a bubble. Great rippling rings formed on the surface, out beyond where the stone had fallen, and they moved slowly towards the foot of the cliff. I mean, that's great because you're like, so is it the stone? But these ripples,
You woke something up.
You woke something up, and you don't know what it is. So I won't read all of it, but it is interesting how, less is more. What do you tell without giving away everything?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting moment. I think it's very visceral, right?
Yeah.
In both the movie and in the book, and even I think when PlayStation came out with the game, I remember playing this one scene, and it was, I was scared, and I'm like, I'm just playing that, but you really definitely a single player, you're toast, you're or breakfast or whatever.
Second breakfast.
So, fifth was Watcher in the Water. Fourth is Black Riders in Buckland. So there's a scene in the Fellowship of the Ring. Yeah. And the Black Riders, this is truly where Tolkien, I think, has some of his finest kind of like the fear, the cry of the Nazgul, etc. All the great things they got in the movie, and I think they did the Nazgul pretty well.
Yeah.
It was pulled from Tolkien. It wasn't invented. They didn't have to spruce it up or whatever. They were pulling from the source material. And oddly enough, the creepiest or most eerie moment, the scariest moment for me, is not when the Black Riders are chasing them as they're trying to get towards Rivendell or whatever. It's this moment where Frodo and his friends have decided, okay, we're going to pretend that I'm living at Crick Hollow, this little house like on the outskirts of town.
Right.
And just saying the outskirts of town, my hair is going up. No. Anyway, because they don't want anybody to know that he's going off on this adventure. And so so the one hobbit that nobody ever talks about is Fredegar Bolger, nicknamed Fatty by his friends. And he even dresses in Frodo's clothes in order to throw off, because if people were going past on the road, or if it was a postman who happens to glimpse him, it would be from a ways off, and they'd think, oh yes, it's Frodo, he's kind of a little bit strange, but nice hobbit.
Yeah.
Well, the rest of them are off, and they're basically going into the old forest, which is itself a bit creepy. I didn't even put Old Man Willow on here, but I should have. So, right?
Yeah.
So many good things to pick from. And so it's when the Black Riders, they're all converging on the house. And the way he builds this up is absolutely incredible. And it's in the beginning. It's in the fact that you have the adventurers are off on their own, and as they're going, they have there's this moment where Fredegar he hears something up by the gate. It's dark, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He hears something up by the gate. The gate opens and closes. He hears the sound of it. And then suddenly this dread. And the Nazgul seem to bring this on. Like, it's
right.
like the
their mere presence.
That's right, their presence. And there's like the black breath and all these different like layers of how terrified you can be. But this is just something wicked this way comes.
Yes.
And he
Thank you, Ray Bradbury.
He shuts the door and he bolts it. And he's like scared witless, and he runs out the back door through the back garden, and he appears, it says in the book, like a few miles away, and people are trying to, like, they don't understand him because he's gibbering. He's so scared he can't even make sense.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But they finally get out of him that there's invaders in Buckland, and so they blow the ancient horn of Buckland. It's fear, fire, foes awake, and there's this whole, and because of the whole countryside is roused, the Black Riders have to leave because they figured out Frodo's not there.
Yeah.
That is, I think, Tolkien at one of his finest moments, because just I'm in the house, and if he'd stayed, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And the gate.
Oh,
the gate.
And I think they did a phenomenal job translating that into the movies.
Really? Because I don't think they did that scene.
There was a gate. I specifically remember the gate.
There was a gate.
Yeah. I don't remember him, gibbering and leaving, but there was the encroachment. And,
yes.
And all the Dark Riders are surrounding the beds. Mm-hmm. They're about to kill everyone, and no, they weren't there.
Yeah, that's actually that scene's in the Prancing Pony.
Yeah.
Right.
In Bree, and you're right. That is another moment where it's interesting, because I think that Peter Jackson took a little idea from the Ralph Bakshi version of the Lord of the Rings,
Yes.
in which, and I remember seeing this as a kid and being freaked out because they stab the beds.
Yes.
Yeah, and they do it very artfully in the movie.
By the way, and this is just my opinion, but
yeah,
I feel the Ralph Bakshi
Yeah.
Hobbit is superior to what came afterwards.
yeah.
Go, watch Ralph Bakshi's The Hobbit, then go Peter Jackson's The Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
But why
Exactly.
didn't Peter Jackson do the songs?
I know. Yeah, that's a whole debate there. People and their if it would have been if it'd been a streaming series, I think so. So that would be fourth. I do love that.
I do want to make a
Earrings.
comment about the Nazgul. My scariest moment is when they're hiding off the side of the road with the just under the roots of the tree.
The roots of the tree.
And they're this close to him.
Yeah.
They can. I just don't know how they survived that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Although I do feel like the Nazgul, the horror, the presence of the Nazguls, they were great in Lord of the Rings, but I feel like the presence kind of fell off after that.
Yeah.
I know that they're still around up until Return of the King, but I don't think they're just as scary. I don't think they're nearly as scary.
Yeah, it's a great
they
question.
lost a lot of their fear when they came to open confrontation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah, that's a great scene. And they do a lot of things in the movie, of course, to help that do the whole where the distance changes.
Yeah.
The frame. And then also, of course, they use, and Peter Jackson. This is the kind of thing he does pretty well because of his background in making horror movies. He's got the insects and spiders kind of creeping down.
Yes.
And so it's kind of like he's showing physically what's going on mentally.
Yes.
And I think that's an interesting kind of tool.
So, the ring.
Yeah.
When Frodo's wearing the ring, in the movies, he is seeing it from the other side of the veil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that representative in the books, or is that a Steve Jackson? Okay.
No, that is.
Yeah.
That is. I think Peter Jackson was pretty faithful on that, because I think what he deals with there is the fact that it's described when Frodo puts on the ring at Weathertop, is specifically what I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
It describes that he's seeing things in a very different manner. And
he sees the Nazgul's true form.
Mm-hmm.
He everything is otherworldly with the not actually their wind, and just the way everything blurs.
Yeah. In D&D terms, I feel like it'd be the one ring doesn't make you invisible. It shunts you onto the Shadowfell.
Yeah.
Well,
or astral plane.
Yeah.
Going along with the whole idea about the Nazgul and terror, and this deserves another honorable mention, is Weathertop, because the book actually does a better job. I mean, I think in the movie they try to show like they're encroaching up above, coming,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like this is more creepy or terrifying. So they deal with the moonrise. So it's nighttime, and there's this little dell that the hobbits are in. They're not up on a hill. They're down kind of next to it in this little shadowed place where you think maybe we won't be seen, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to hide. And then it says here, this is in the chapter A Knife in the Dark. And then it says, the others looked up. Even as they did so, they saw on the top of the hill something small and dark against the glimmer of the moonrise. It was perhaps only a large stone or jutting rock shown up by the pale light. Sam and Merry got up and walked away from the fire. Frodo and Pippin remained seated in silence. Strider was watching the moonlight on the hill intently. All seemed quiet and still, but Frodo felt a cold dread creeping over his heart. Now that Strider was no longer speaking, he huddled closer to the fire. And then, going forward, they're breathless, they're waiting, they're fearing, they're expecting. And then it says, nothing happened. There was no sound or movement in the night. Frodo stirred, feeling that he must break the silence. He longed to shout out loud. It's that kind of waiting, but then it's longer than you think, so then you don't know when.
Mm-hmm.
Hush, whispered Strider. What's that? Gasped Pippin at the same moment. Over the lip of the little dell on the side away from the hill, they felt rather than saw a shadow rise. One shadow or more than one. They strained their eyes, and the shadow seemed to grow. Soon there could be no doubt. 3 or 4 tall black figures were standing there on the slope, looking down on them. So black were they that they seemed like black holes in the deep shade behind them. Frodo thought that he heard a faint hiss as of venomous breath, and felt a thin, piercing chill. Then the shapes slowly advanced. Terror overcame Pippin and Merry, and they threw themselves flat on the ground. Sam shrank to Frodo's side. Frodo was hardly less terrified than his companions. He was quaking as if he was bitter cold, but his terror was swallowed up in a sudden temptation to put on the ring. The desire to do this laid hold of him, and he could think of nothing else. So I'm skipping forward, and then it says here, resistance became unbearable, and at last he slowly drew out the chain and slipped the ring on the forefinger of his left hand. Immediately, though everything else remained as before, dim and dark, the shapes became terribly clear. He was able to see beneath their black wrappings. There were 5 tall figures, 2 standing on the lip of the dell, 3 advancing. In their white faces burned keen and merciless eyes. Under their mantles were long gray robes. Upon their gray hairs were helms of silver. In their haggard hands were swords of steel. Their eyes fell on him and pierced him as they rushed towards him. Desperate, he drew his own sword, and so on and so forth.
So what I'm seeing happening is we're still starting. We're starting with the less is more.
Yeah.
And we're building this shapeless shadow.
Yeah.
That first you just feel, and then you get to see.
Yeah.
But it's still dark, and then you get the reveal.
Yes.
And the reveal, even though it gives you more description,
Yeah.
is brought up. We mentioned how Frodo is feeling the cold grip of fear, and the knowing in this case is almost worse than not knowing.
Yeah, I was just thinking that there's the reveal, but it's not a safe reveal.
Right.
There's a reveal, and now you have more danger.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it's quite interesting how he does that, and it's even with when Frodo puts on the ring, he sees more, but it's not the plain light of day.
Right.
It's just another layer of where you are, and it reminds me a little bit, in a sense, although it's very different, than when you think about, say, like the Netflix. Wow, I've just skipped a groove. So when you think about the Underdark and the
right, Stranger Things.
Yeah. So with Stranger Things, when they first go into the very first time that someone, because when they show the other side, first it's like the upside down. It's like there's like a soldier or some kind of agent who goes forward in his full suit, and he goes forward, and you don't see what he sees, and then the rope pulls taut, and then there's this garble screaming whatever, and they pull it back, and all that.
And there's nothing
left on the other side, right? But then later, when you go through, it's just that kind of gradual revealing. It's more and more terrifying, and it's definitely in education we would call that scaffolding, where you don't just say here it is. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to kind of give you, instead of one huge step, I'm going to give you many small steps. And so in a sense, a good writer or movie maker is scaffolding the terror and leveling you up slowly as you go, and rather than just like hitting you hard with all of it.
Yeah.
Curse of Strahd has a slight issue in the horror, is that everybody already knows that he's a vampire.
The vampire, yeah.
So you don't get that reveal.
Yeah.
You don't get that build up of who is this. And so in this case, it's a victim of its own popularity.
Yeah, that's a great point.
See, I would, and for me, I'd have to reread Curse of Strahd, but I feel the way you get around that is everyone knows he's a vampire. The terror for Curse of Strahd should be, and now this is what it means. This is what it means to be that type of vampire.
Well, also, it's a Hitchcock type of horror at this point, where you know the bomb's under the table.
Right.
But you can't do anything about it, and all you can do is watch and wait for it to blow up in your face.
Yeah.
My understanding, and I'm not really a Dracula expert, but when Bram Stoker wrote Dracula, and I haven't read the original all the way through. I read when I was growing up, I read like an illustrated classic. But so I got the basic idea of Van Helsing and how things kind of come along, and the protagonist is along for the ride, as it were. You're kind of seeing it through his eyes, but kind of he stays with Dracula for a while at first, right? He's there, and so it's like sometimes horror can take maybe a surface. Oh yes, I know something's not quite right, but then the sun goes down, and then there's another side reveal where suddenly what even might have seemed familiar, like, okay, well, I'm not that scared of this, becomes, and that I think bringing a player or a viewer or a reader into that place of the unknown is really important, because if it is something that they are familiar with already, then you almost have to, I would guess, as a game master or as a DM, try to say, how can I take something that's very familiar and introduce unfamiliar aspects to it to throw them off balance. And it's really interesting with this particular scene where the Nazgul are at Weathertop and all that. The way that Frodo overcomes the horror is the unnamed, because they don't know I think we only know the name of one of the Nazgul that's ever told. Kamul, I think, the Easterling. Mm-hmm. But going back to the unnamed and the unseen, the darker than the black on the black, it's like the night sky and you can't even see it's obscuring the stars, whatever. And he actually recites Elvish poetry, and he names Elbereth, Gilthoniel. So giving name, he can't name the darkness, but he can name the light, and that helps give him a moment to overcome it.
That to me was a prayer in the foxhole. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the looking, as you said, to bring in the light into this dark situation.
Right. Which is all about this.
Yeah.
Because Beowulf, that's what Beowulf is, and Tolkien, of course, is one of he made his own translation, and there's Seamus Heaney is a good one for those who want to read it. But what's interesting is Verlin Flieger, who's a Tolkien scholar way more than I am, Verlin Flieger said that Beowulf and a lot of the old stories from that time period, it's about a circle of light in the face of just total and unfathomable darkness. Mm-hmm. And it's the courage in Northern Europe that was valued more than, as it were, the happy ending.
Yeah.
So the courage. So that's interesting. And in a way, what you're talking about, it kind of shows that it is a foxhole. It's a circular foxhole. It is you are surrounded, mm-hmm. and there's the fire. So that's kind of symbolic too. It's really interesting mm-hmm. how they draw those contrasts. And I think there are a lot. I'm not going to go into this much, but I just think when you look at Beowulf, you look at Grendel, the monster, how he's described, the build-up, the first attack on Heorot, the hall of the King Hrothgar, about how he basically decimates and depopulates. And it's just this dread. It's because he's drawn to happiness. Grendel is drawn to happiness. He can't abide it, and so he must destroy it. And so there's this dread now that lies on the land. He doesn't even have to do anything anymore because they're fearful. Mm-hmm. And then Beowulf, he comes as the hero and deals with the monsters.
One of the things that make the Beowulf, not Beowulf himself, but Grendel and the Nazgul terrifying is that they feel inevitable.
Yeah.
There is nothing to stop them.
That's a great catch.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so
edit that.
We have maybe about 5 minutes left.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So maybe what would be best for me to do is just to kind of point people to my final three, which would be third is the Barrow Downs, and that's just the part where Frodo and the hobbits, they ended up getting
and the barrow right.
Yes, they're trapped. That's a wonderful passage, and how it brings them into the barrows themselves, and the whites trying to kind of make them into some sort of host for them. I'm not sure. It's really,
Yeah.
you're not sure what's going on, and that's what's so terrifying.
And I know that was never shown in the movies because that's where
Yeah.
they were supposed to be able to get the
The
swords.
blades. Yeah, the blades, which is huge because actually that's why one of those blades is what ends up killing the Witch King.
Yes.
Yeah, and otherwise, how do you explain that it's not just any knife? My second choice is Moria, specifically looking at the way in which the Balrog of Morgoth, you know, that is in some ways the most petrifying monster of all. And the way that Tolkien deals with it is not by showing the Balrog, but really, I mean, he does a little bit. He talks about flame and smoke, but he says, they've got the door. They hear the orcs. They shut the door. They bar the door, and then there's noise out there, and then it suddenly gets quiet. And there's this moment where Gandalf's listening, and he says, it's like they says, "Fly, you fools!" And they run. This is before he falls, and they're running away from the chamber of Mazarbul, where Balin is buried. And he says, when they get their breath, he's like, "I felt a presence of evil on the other side that I he could not overcome." And I think that's really interesting because there you don't even get to see what it is. The first read, the first read.
The common reading the common image of the Balrog is more Ralph Bakshi than it is Tolkien.
Right.
And
that's
the image that people are stuck in their head. But he describes him a bit different.
Yeah. So I would have to say my top choice for the Lord of the Rings would be Shelob.
I knew that was
Shelob's lair.
So not Shelob's mother.
Right. Well, that's an interesting point because
Shelob's mother is not in the Lord of the Rings.
That's right. Yes. But and I have to say, because I think we'll want to probably end with this, but going to the Silmarillion, I'll just say my top 5, and then people can look that up and check it out. I would say my 5th for Silmarillion was Turin and his tragedy, where he really ends up creating so much grief and ends up, marrying a relative. Anyway, 4th would be the human sacrifice on Numenor. I think Sauron's coup d'etat is where he's captured. Oh no, you got me. And now you've just imported this horrible kind of infection, if you will, into Numenor. And how that leads to people being arrested and burned burned out. It's just, there's a temple and everything. Second one is Draugluin, which is is actually the beast. A lot like Hades, if you think back, there was Kerberos, right? He was the Cerberus, a 3-headed dog. So it's got that kind of vibe, but it's just this massive. He's been fed, and he's huge, and he's horrifying. And so in the story of Beren and Luthien, Luthien actually swoons and she faints because he's just so in this kind of animal way, terrifying. And Beren fights him, etc. Loses his hand, so you got the disembodied hand as well. It's great. good vibe for this week. But really, Silmarillion, the top one would be the Tower of Sauron, because this is where you have this wonderful picture of Luthien disguising herself as Thuringwethil, who was a famous vampire bat, apparently. And then you also have Beren being disguised as Draugluin, so he's this kind of wolf or werewolfish kind of character.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that kind of confused me a little bit. Was the difference between werewolves and wargs.
Yeah, there's a whole thing about that for sure. Basically, a warg is more like a demon inhabiting a wolf's body, whereas a werewolf would be a classic understanding of it is where it's a lycanthrope. It goes back and forth between man and wolf. So those are great ones to look at if you're interested in knowing more. Let's end with Shelob's lair.
Yes.
There, age long, she had dwelt, an evil thing in spider form, even such as once of old had lived in the land of the elves in the west, that is now under the sea, such as Beren fought in the mountains of terror in Doriath, and so came to Luthien upon the green sward amid the hemlocks in the moonlight long ago. How Shelob came there, flying from ruin, no tale tells, for out of the dark years few tales have come, but still she was there, who was there before Sauron, and before the first stone of Barad-dûr, and she served none but herself, drinking the blood of elves and men, bloated and grown fat with endless brooding on her feasts, weaving webs of shadow, for all living things were her food and her vomit darkness. Far and wide her lesser broods, bastards of the miserable mates, her own offspring that she slew, spread from glen to glen, from the Ethel Duath to the eastern hills, to Dol Guldur and the fastnesses of Mirkwood. But none could rival her. She loved the great last child of Ungoliant to trouble the unhappy world. And then it takes that kind of backdrop, and then you've got Frodo and Sam not knowing where they're going. Mm-hmm. And they're being betrayed by Gollum. And they go in there, and it's this moment where there's this terrifying reality of there's webs, they're caught. I think the movie does a pretty good job. I think
so too.
Yep. The one thing that it doesn't do well, or I would say the book does better, is it talks about the approach. They're feeling it's so dark that not even the light of Galadriel's the starlight can actually penetrate it. Mm-hmm. And they're feeling along. They're like in this tunnel that's going one way, and they feel like gaps. And at one point, when they go past this, it's the stench. And the way that Tolkien uses the stench, they can't even see, but it's really where Shelob's den is. Right. And the bones and the rotting corpses, etc. And just the stench, he uses that description to really terrify the reader. And they're like, they stumble past it, and they go on, they're trying to get out, and that's when they get caught. And so I think he's spinning a web mm-hmm. for us, and we're caught with Frodo and Sam.
Yeah.
And so it's just incredibly good writing, and I think one of the most terrifying scenes, because you can't see her until they hold up the file
in her face.
And it's the reflection in the eyes. It's the reflection in all the eyes.
Yeah.
You can't even see her whole body yet. That's just
terrifying.
Wow. Artistically speaking, who represented Shelob best? Was it the animated, the early animated? Was it the Lord of the Rings calendar with, what is his name?
Ted Nasmith, I think?
Yeah.
Was that the one who did the one? I think I know the one you're thinking of.
Yeah.
She's very angular, isn't she? In
yes.
That one. Yeah.
And then, the Lord of the Rings movie that we most recently had. Who did the better Shelob?
Well, my opinion would be that I think the Lord of the Rings did a pretty good job, especially using the legs and being able to kind of crawl out of the hole at the end mm-hmm. when they think they've escaped, and yet they haven't.
Yeah.
And that kind of using the different angles, I think that's very clever, and also they're paying attention to anatomy.
Right.
What's mm-hmm. interesting is, and this is where a book can always overcome, better than a movie, is it says in spider form. She's never described as only just a giant spider.
Yeah.
There's something
spider-esque about her.
Yeah, which I think is just like even more creepy. Mm-hmm. Like, what does that mean? Does she have a head, mm-hmm. like with features?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably not. But it's just.
Well, there have been Lolth adjacent artwork.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
The drow worshiper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That has been worked into Shelob.
You think so?
Well, yeah. One of the images I remember mm-hmm. was Shelob, but with a humanist face, mm-hmm. still with the mandibles and the eyes.
Oh, that's just. Yeah. One of the things we haven't even talked about, but we don't have time for, is the Uncanny Valley, and but that has more to do with things not looking quite right.
Yeah.
And I don't think Tolkien does that as much. Like the child's doll that's got black eyes, and mm-hmm. He doesn't do that as much. I would say that in his stories, he really trades on kind of a building of suspense.
Yeah.
And I would say the first thing I noticed about the movies that was different, I was like, wow, what a great set of movies. But they do suspense and fear really well, but not dread. The movies do not do dread well.
There's not enough time.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the movies were very long.
Yeah, you need to have pacing for you need to have enough space to do pacing to get dread. You have to sit with it, and
in order to do the Lord of the Rings, in my opinion, correctly, is to do it in serial format and to have the budget of the movie.
Yeah, I actually recently made a joke online because people were saying that the extended versions weren't long enough, and I jokingly said that that Peter Jackson was a coward, and I want the 6-month-long version of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I will say that one of Tolkien's least known works is perhaps one of his most scary. And so this is kind of like my Easter egg for you.
Okay.
It's called The Mewlips. It's a poem. And I'll just read part of it. The shadows where the mewlips dwell are dark and wet as ink, and slow and softly rings their bell as in the slime you sink. You sink into the slime who dare to knock upon their door, while down the grinning gargoyles stare and noisome waters pour. Beside the rotting river strand the drooping willows weep, and gloomily the gore-crows stand croaking in their sleep. Over the Murloc mountains a long and weary way, in a moldy valley where the trees are gray, by a dark pool's borders without wind or tide, moonless and sunless the mewlips hide. And that's just the beginning of the poem.
Wow. So
evocative. So we're going to come back.
Yep.
And we're going to do our Challenge of Champions. I love to challenge new people, especially. And after that, we're going to do an unboxing of some Lord of the Rings, the One Ring role-playing game, RPG stuff.
Fantastic.
So we're going to have some fun with that. Okay. But after these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the RPG Talk Show. This is Challenge and Champions, and we have Brian here with us.
Yes, so for once, you get a little assistance in these things.
We will see if that helps.
He tends to either get it really quick or not at all.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's feast or famine with me here.
So this is our Traps and Riddles segment.
Ooh,
we are
Traps and
using
Riddles.
Challenge of Champions 4 by Jonathan M. Richards. Artwork is by Kyle Hunter, and cartography is also by Kyle Hunter. This is taken from Dungeon Magazine, March/April 2002, issue number 91, volume 16, number 1.
Oh, yes, volume 16. Yes, I know that well.
People who are even aware that there's volume numbers on the Dragon and Dungeon Magazine is a rare breed.
Weren't the Dungeons and Dragons magazines just online?
No, they
This was a real life paper magazines.
You're pulling my leg.
So
That's the good old days, Dragon Magazine, right?
yes, this one case is Dungeon, but each Challenge of Champions is a series of 10 scenarios designed to test the leadership, adaptability, and cohesion of the adventuring group. The scenarios are equally challenging for everyone, regardless of level. The rules are as follows. Team members must wear only regular clothing. Any weapons, armor, gear, or magic items needed for the scenario will be provided. Spellcasters can have no spells memorized or prepared. All spells used in the contest are cast through rings of spell storing, as this allows all spells to be cast at the same level and negates any advantage higher level casters have over lower level ones. Familiars or magical companions are not allowed in the contest.
You have to stay in the crate.
Yes.
Now,
They're being fed well.
this, as we mentioned, this is the 4th Challenge of Champions. And in previous Challenge of Champions, you did not have an opportunity to get a hint.
Oh.
But, now new rule, a hint can be given, but you'll only get half points.
Out of 40, yeah.
Yeah, out of 40 it becomes 20. And if you only get 20 points, you only get 10.
Okay.
So
don't do the hint unless absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's been necessary.
Yeah.
You will have 15 minutes to accomplish each scenario. Any game rules needed will be using the core 2024 Dungeons & Dragons rule sets. Danielle and
Daniel.
Daniel?
You
Did I
said-
missay your name?
Yes, you did. You said Danielle as opposed to Daniel. Danielle is the female one.
We'll start over with that.
So, Daniel.
Yeah.
Please tell me about the two characters you're using, and then Brian will tell him about the two characters he's using.
So I have with me Geraldine Golden Dawn. She's a life cleric of Procan, the Greyhawk god of sea, weather, and navigation. And I have Joannie the Firehearted Nyzanthar, who is an Evoke a Wizard. She's a bit of a fiery person.
Yes.
Fiery personality, as they say.
Yeah, and I have Michael Wild Dog Cerulean, and he's a champion fighter, human. And I have Scotty Quickflash, who is a thief in a local guild, and is a human rogue from the criminal background.
So the only non-human that we have is Geraldine Golden Dawn, who is a half-elf, using the elf stat blocks.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do in 5th edition now.
Yeah.
The 5.5 version, or 5.24 as I call it. Okay. You are greeted by Parnival, the guild cleric proctoring the next scenario. He offers each of you a drink of water, filling 4 glass mugs from a rain barrel. This next scenario challenge is your ability to navigate a maze, he says. The good news is that you'll get to see the layout ahead of time. He removes a small cloth from the wall and drops it on the floor to reveal a painted diagram of a circular maze. The bad news is that you can't take it with you. You'll have to memorize the route you wish to take ahead of time. To further complicate matters, at the center of the maze is an unstoppered, ever-smoking bottle, which has caused smoke to cover the central area of the maze, as shaded on the map. Here is the stopper. You need only to place it back on the bottle and say the command word, "Begone," and the exit through the door at the center of the maze. There is no illumination within the maze, so here are 2 ever-burning torches. You have 15 minutes to complete the scenario. Begin.
So what I'm thinking we should do is, one, we need to figure out the maze.
Yep.
But then we have to, I figure, prioritize memorizing the turns, like left turn, right turn, or skipping the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we need to figure out that map.
Well, it's going to be, so we have to go in.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a left turn. And it has us going around this way.
Yeah.
And then we are going to, well, there's several ways to get through, I guess, but we have to try to get down this way. And that then brings us closer in, and then brings us back out, and then here, and then finally in.
Okay, so, oh, that is way more complicated than I was seeing.
Okay, so why doesn't everybody give me a perception check?
All right.
Okay. Per person?
Per character.
Okay.
Oh man. Okay.
I'll have you go first.
Thanks. Right. So perception check, and I'm going to be going off of. So I got a nat 1 on my thief.
Okay, your thief is too busy studying the map to notice anything.
Apparently. Now, Michael Wild Dog Civilian, that my fighter. So I rolled a 3, but I add that to my proficient. There it is. So perception, and I get no bonus on this, so I'm at a 3.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
You and the both your characters are talking and studying that map with all your work.
Here's the map to study.
We fail to even remember to breathe at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joannie the Firehearted, she rolled a 14, plus her perception, that's a 15.
Okay. Anybody got better than that?
Yes. I rolled a natural 20 for Geraldine Golden Dawn.
Excellent.
Whoa.
So that is a total of 25.
It's, of course, the elves with their keen eyes.
Yes.
Clearly.
You notice that there's a 20-foot high ceiling in the area, but the walls of the maze are only 10 feet high, which allows the smoke from the ever-smoking bottle to spill out into the shaded areas of the map. So you can see it's actually going over the walls.
Oh, yeah. So
Okay.
there must be like an opening at the center where it's coming out, kind of.
Well, you know there's a bottle in the middle.
Yes.
That's uncorked.
Right.
And it's spilling smoke, and it fills up the area and goes over the top and fills up till it fills up this entire gray area.
Okay.
Okay, may I see that map?
Yes.
And everything is 10 feet? 10 feet and then 20?
Yeah, 10 feet, and then it's another 10 feet to the roof.
Okay, and we have no tools that would enable us to climb over walls.
They're 10 foot tall.
Yeah, that's...
What kind of tools do you need?
1, 2, 3. There are 3 walls on a straight line between the entrance and the center.
Oh, boy.
So...
what about boosting one of us up above? We've got 4 people.
Yeah, we have 4 people.
We have 4 people.
So I think we've got three walls. We just need to count 3 walls.
Okay.
I figure... I know Michael is probably the strongest.
I think so, yeah. He would be definitely the one who should maybe be the
2
bottom.
2 boost, 2 over.
Okay.
1 person on top of the wall helps the other 2 over.
Yep.
And we just go over 3 walls.
Let's try it.
Okay. So.
Anything you do before you go, or are you just going to head right in?
What's the source of illumination? Is it our own torches or...
The 2 ever-burning torches, otherwise none.
Right. Okay, so we have to figure out who's holding those.
I figure whoever's on top of the wall should be holding it.
Exactly.
At the very least in his teeth.
As long as it doesn't have a mustache that will start to burn.
Well, ever-burning torches don't burn.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And whoever's on top, and let's see here.
Whoever goes over is going to need one as well, because that's
on the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So the first person who goes over officially takes that other one as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep, I think so. So we're going to try to... So can we see from where we are where this entrance is?
Yeah, well, you're standing in front of it.
We're standing in front of it. Yep. Okay. All right. So, is there anything else before that? I don't think so.
Not that I can really think of.
And we're timed right now, are we?
Yeah. Time is ticking.
Okay.
So tell me what you're doing.
Okay. So I think so my fighter, Michael. So Wild Dog goes first with one of the torches. Probably just he's going to hand it off or something like that. But he's in the front. So he walks from this point. He's walking towards the first wall. Does he see anything as he goes past some of the other entrances or whatever as he comes up to this point here?
No, I mean he sees the path goes one direction and the other direction. Remember, you don't get to keep this anymore.
Oh, rats.
Yeah.
So you travel in
3
30
walls.
feet
3 walls.
straight ahead, and at the 40th foot, there is a passage that goes off the left, or you can go straight ahead, in which case the path will branch off right and left.
So what we're hoping to do is to take our 4 players, or characters, I mean, we're gonna try to walk straight towards where that final kind of, where you can't go any
Where
further.
it branches off left,
Yeah.
It becomes the T section.
Exactly.
That's
Okay.
the first wall.
You're all there.
First wall. Okay. So Wild Dog will hand the torch to
Probably Scotty Quickflash.
to Scotty. So Scotty Quickflash is going to take the ever torch, ever burning torch, and will scramble up on top of Wild Dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
So does that require an athletics roll?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, he's just going up a heavy human ladder.
Exactly. Dexterity is the same. So, and then what about the other two?
So, Geraldine is probably going to help Scotty get up.
Okay.
And once Scotty's up, Joannie is probably going to go up next.
Okay.
I'm hoping Scotty will help her down.
Right. So that's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
So, if the walls of this maze is 10 feet tall, and if Wild Dog is standing and Scotty's standing on his shoulders, can he reach the top?
Oh, from standing on his shoulders?
Yes.
Easily.
Okay. So he's going to try to use his dexterity to...
Because I believe his shoulders are 5 feet off the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
That would make sense. So do you think maybe Scotty should help someone up next onto... Well, they can climb onto Wild Dog himself, right?
Yeah, they can.
Okay. So my thief's going to climb up on top of the wall with the Everburn torch that was handed to him by Wild Dog. Okay. He gets up on top. He's straddling it. He looks over. Does he see anything?
Nothing but smoke.
Oh boy. Okay, so it's smoky in there.
Yeah.
I tell the others it's smoky in there, so I'll have to be careful. Kind of try to cover our mouths.
That's from the this ever smoking bottle.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And I say, okay, I'm in place.
So Geraldine, Joannie is going to go next.
Okay.
With Scotty's assistance, climb up and over.
Okay.
And Joannie is going to assist Geraldine as...
To keep a long story short, you can get over. Who's the first one down?
Oh, Joannie, the Firehearted.
Okay, Joannie, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, okay. $19.
Okay, you make your saving throw from smoke inhalation, and from now on, you every round you're in the smoke, you're gonna have to make it, and it's gonna get a little bit harder each time.
Oh boy.
Oh. She is going to tap Scotty and immediately climb up to get out of the smoke.
Okay.
Okay.
To inform everyone of this.
So the rest of us hear about this, and we kind of stop and think a little bit more about our plan. Do we need to try to clamber on top of basically trying to stay as straight as we can, but maybe not to descend down, but stay on top of the maze walls?
I feel like if we do that, we're then going to be doing an acrobatics check. I would rather, one person, we've got 3 walls, this is the first one, we've got 2 more. Joannie, I feel, needs to run to the next wall and prepare for someone to climb up, and we just go over. Scotty's going to pull Wild Dog over, and we just try to book it as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And we hold our breaths.
So you're going to do one con save per wall.
Yeah.
So this is the first wall. Everybody who went over and down into it, go ahead and give me your con saves.
Okay. So basically all of us will have to do it, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Only if you want to get through it.
Well, yeah. Wow. No rerolls on this, huh?
No.
Con saves. I do have a +3 Constitution save for.
We are using, by the way, 2024 rules, which means all the humans already have inspiration.
Oh, so if you want to reroll on this one, go ahead.
That's a great question. I think probably, but I can only do that once, correct?
Yeah.
Once per person. Character.
Okay, well, that's much better. So I have a 16 for Wild Dog, and then for Scotty, it's going to be con save, right? So it'll be 18.
Okay.
And Geraldine gets a 19.
Okay.
Yes.
And the other one?
I thought she had already rolled, or does she have to roll another?
Well, did she come back out?
Yeah.
So she's got to roll again.
Okay, then. 5.
Okay. You're choking for this round.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not experiencing any damage.
Okay.
All right, so we quickly, as quickly as we can, we move forward to the next wall.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
straight ahead.
So again, you climb up over the wall.
Yep,
Mhm.
same
Now,
thing.
everybody roll again, but realize the number is now higher.
Okay. A double nat 20.
Nice.
I don't think I've ever rolled that in my life.
Nice. Nice.
I rolled a. I had disadvantage to hit one of the bad guys. Well, the heroes, because I'm the dungeon master. And with disadvantage, I rolled 2 nat 20s.
That's amazing.
I've had advantage and rolled double ones.
Oh.
That was just meant to be.
All right. So obviously they passed.
Yeah.
How about you?
So Joannie, the Firehearted, she rolled a 13.
Okay. And she failed the round before?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, roll a dice 6.
5.
She's taken 5 points of damage
Ooh.
from inhalation.
Okay, out of 22.
Yeah. What's the other ones?
Geraldine Golden Dawn had a 4.
Okay, that's the first round that they haven't done it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So keep track.
Yeah.
all right. So you move forward to
This is the last wall.
the last wall, which is only 5 feet or 10 feet away, depending on how big we want to scale. All right. Climb over and make your rolls again.
Yeah. Joannie is going to use her inspiration.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully that's a little bit better. Okay. So Joannie, who's already taken 5 points of damage, out of 22, has a 12.
Okay. Roll another dice 6 for damage.
Ooh.
6. 11 points, she's down to half her hit points.
Yep. Coughing and choking, having trouble seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next.
Okay, so Scotty rolls a nat 20, so
Okay.
he's fine. Wild Dog, it's an 8 for a con save or a Constitution roll.
Okay.
So I'm
no,
assuming
no success. But this was the first failure.
that's right.
Yeah.
So just coughing.
He's coughing.
Yeah. Geraldine Golden Dawn rolled a total of 10.
All right. That was the time.
Uh-huh.
But you got there.
To the center.
Got there to the center. So what I need to know is what. Now that everybody's in there, has everybody succeeded on the saving throws?
Or we've rolled.
Yeah. And has.
Geraldine Golden Dawn needs to take damage.
Okay. Roll a dice 6 for her.
6.
All right. Now, if you're all still conscious, what are you doing next?
Well, I think the thief, Scotty Quickflash, right? Quick dexterity would be like looking immediately for where the bottle is. And who's got the stopper? Do we know?
Well, which one of you took the stopper?
I think, well, the thief would always,
Yeah.
whether
Okay.
with permission or without.
Yeah, well, he's got the fastest hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the thief, I think that Scotty would be seeking to slowly, but moving through and trying to find the center of that room where the bottle would be, and trying to kind of cover his mouth with one hand like this, with his tunic, and then he's got the stopper, and he's just trying to peer through the smoke to get to the bottle to put the cork in.
Okay.
So, Geraldine and Joannie, they're exhausted. They're going to lay down 5 feet away from each other and just going to spread out to try and feel for it.
There you go.
Give me an investigation check for those who are trying to find it.
Yeah, because I think Wild Dog would just stay in the background and be the tank who's going to keep an eye on things. Oh,
So,
wow. I got a 5.
Joannie the Firehearted has a total of 14.
Okay.
Geraldine Golden Dawn has a natural 20.
Okay, well, she finds it.
Oh.
She's found it, and that means we've just spent another round searching, so everybody make another saving throw.
Okay, I've got... Scotty's got a 6, so the thief has a 6.
Okay.
And Wild Dog has a 14.
All right.
Joannie has a 19, and Geraldine has a 14.
Okay, anybody who has less than 19, go ahead and roll damage if you have a previous failure.
So Scotty has not had a previous failure before. This is his first time. Is he choking and coughing?
He's choking and coughing, but is not taking damage.
Not taking it. So my Wild Dog would, and so he takes 3 damage.
Okay.
Yeah. 5 damage and 5 damage, but neither of them, they're getting to the end of it, but
they can manage.
Yeah, they're pretty beat up. But Geraldine, before getting even to Scotty, thumb over.
Okay.
Oh, that's smart.
Thumb over the cork.
Over the hole.
Yeah.
All right. Now what do you do?
Scotty it's like looking aimlessly, can't quite find it. You say something, I bring it to you, quick.
Yep.
Okay, so the bottle is corked.
Yeah.
But the smoke hasn't gone away. Just no more additional smoke is coming out.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Is there anything else? Is there anything else in the room?
Not that you can see.
Is it on a table? Is it on a plinth? What is it on?
It was on the ground.
On the ground.
Yeah, just sitting there on the ground.
We're missing something.
Geraldine and Joannie are climbing. They're scrambling up to get up on top of the wall, just to get their head out of the smoke.
Okay, and obviously Wild Dog would be like boost.
Yeah,
boost.
And get everyone up and wait until the smoke clears. At least our heads are above the smoke.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so we all get up on top of the wall.
Yeah.
Because of that decision, you have failed. Smoke doesn't dissipate until you say the word
"begone."
It was right there in the instructions.
Shoot.
So while you're waiting for the smoke to clear, and it doesn't clear, your 15 minutes definitely expire, and you have failed.
Begone.
Now, let's talk about you almost did the textbook thing.
Yeah.
One of the things that would have been more efficient is to send one person forward, leave everybody else back, until the smoke has been taken care of.
Oh.
The second thing you could do is you were told you can't take the map, but it doesn't mean you couldn't have torn the map up, the cloth map up, taken the drinks of water you were given, and made a filter mask. In which case you would have had advantage on your saving throws for being in the smoke.
The water. Yeah. I wondered about the water. I was thinking there must be something to it, but I'm like, I don't know if I trust drinking this water.
So the best thing would have been to make a mask for
Scotty.
Not Scotty.
Uh-huh.
It would have been the one with the highest constitution.
Oh, yeah.
And then, which I don't think is Scotty, but
that would have been Michael.
Michael's only got a 12.
Well, but he's got a +3
on the saving throws?
Yeah. Saving throws.
Yeah. So you would have had advantage on all of those saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
Never even having to use your inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Gone over there, put the cork in, said the word begone, and then everybody else could have followed in, and you would have seen the door to get out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Forgot begone. We were so busy just worrying about suffocation.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you were so worried about the map first that you forgot the instructions.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it is, man. Feast or famine.
Well, and that's when you're a player versus a GM, right? Like you're thinking only about like problem solving, and if there's a timer, all those things kind of get you.
That timer is one of the literally the hardest thing to overcome.
Yeah.
because just knowing you have a time limit puts you in panic mode,
Yes.
Yep.
which shuts down
Well,
all the prefrontal cortex.
people who are in actual situations like that, they might have time to like save their lives or whatever, but because they're panicking.
Yeah. Welcome back to the RPG Talk Show. We're going into unboxing, and we have the One Ring role-playing game.
Yeah, this is exciting. I love they've got the new Loremaster's screen.
Mm-hmm.
So they call in Middle Earth the Free League uses Loremaster instead of Game Master, Dungeon Master.
Well, actually, Cubicle 7 also used Loremaster.
That's correct.
Now we have two different titles here. This is the Lord of the Rings role-playing game.
And this is the One Ring
Right.
starter set.
Now
different
the
systems.
One Ring is based on the original first edition One Ring, written by the exact same people, but instead of working for Cubicle 7, they now work for
Free League.
So
Yes.
that's the One Ring second edition.
Mm-hmm.
This used to be Adventures in Middle Earth, the 5th edition role-playing game, but when it moved over to Free League, they went to The Lord of the Rings
That's right.
to distinguish it from the original.
Yes.
Which is interesting because actually I felt like AIM was easier to remember, but I guess they're the only ones who have the license for LOTR role-playing games, so I guess why not use it if you got it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like trying to say Lotter.
Yeah. LOTR role-playing game. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's a little bit more cumbersome.
Yeah.
But other than that, let's take a look at this.
All right.
This is for the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons rules. It's 2014. They are not updated for 2024. And
I feel like the conversion should be easy enough for them, though.
Well, I don't see any reason to do so.
Yeah.
You just go ahead and play it with the 2014 rules and call it good.
Mm-hmm.
There is no need for bastions and other things. But I do like the fact that they took the best parts of the One Ring role-playing game and added it to 5th edition, which is the travel, the audience, and the shadow points.
Yes, I love those. Travel is really important to Tolkien, I think, in this world.
Yeah, and I actually even use those rules for regular Dungeons and Dragons games because I find it more interesting than rolling for encounters every 3 feet.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh, wow.
Yes, now this is a little booklet that comes with it. It's the Rivendell. Now, the One Ring role-playing game, Loremaster screen, also has the Rivendell booklet. Again, everything from these two products are identical except in the presentations of rules.
I see that.
So you've got your stats, your attributes, and that's going to be specific to 5e rules,
Right.
Or the most recent version.
Yeah.
So it's an attractive cover. I like it. It's pretty thin. It's just basically you wouldn't call it a module because it's not it's more of a setting, correct?
Right. It's a setting. There may be some hooks in there, for adventure ideas, but this isn't meant to be a full adventure or anything. It just gives you a place for things to happen.
I like the index, or I should say, almost like
That's a key.
a key for the different parts of Rivendell and how they can guide you through, so you can find a place to build that adventure for your players.
Although I personally wouldn't mind bastions in Lord of the Rings.
The closest they have to bastions in the Lord of the Rings is Patreons and not Safeways, secure places that you can go.
Like a bolt hole.
Well, no, like
Rivendell.
like you can go to Rivendell.
A sanctuary.
A sanctuary.
Yes.
That's the word.
That's the word you're looking for.
Yes. So they have sanctuaries, and that's where you really want to do your downtime stuff at.
Oh yeah, your fellowship phase. is what we would call it in the One Ring.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. It's a little different. Well, we do still have fellowship phases, I believe, with the Lord of the Rings role playing, the RPG.
Yeah, I'm going to have to double check that
Yeah.
because the starter set doesn't mention that at all.
I'm in a current campaign where Anthony, a friend of mine, is Anthony Cassette's running it's this version, so he's using the LOTR RPG, and so our characters just went into a fellowship phase. So I'm pretty certain that he's using that from the rules and not just
probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been playing the One Ring version, and only recently started playing the 5th editions.
Look at this beautiful
Yes.
spread. So we've got this kind of entire view. How would you describe that?
Orcs attacking.
Yeah, that's an orc. I think that's an orc's home that for some reason you invaded and are.
Oh, the poor orcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a. I'm
The watchdog?
No, I think it's a troll.
It's a troll. Oh, watchdog.
Yeah.
Very large, expensive watchdog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So definitely one to make players think, okay, it's on.
So
This is happening.
I suspect that the orcs were having a barbecue and we weren't invited.
Clearly not.
And then they made snide comments about the barbecue sauce.
That's right. Snide
Oh,
comments.
you know what it was?
Don't insult them over their barbecue sauce.
The-
Fine flesh.
It's not that we weren't invited. We decided that we were going to bring the Alabama white sauce for barbecue.
Okay.
And that's just offensive.
Okay. Okay. Well, here we have a very nice kind of spread on the left-hand side. As I adjust my progressive lenses, we see magical success, encumbrance, resting, shadow conditions. We've got a nice table here on sources of dread, as well as misdeeds, which is really a key part, in my opinion, of both the One Ring and LOTR RPG, because it shows again there's a moral compass, and if you choose to act in a certain way, if it's a misdeed, not in like an accidental situation, but if you purposefully choose to do something evil, then it will have an impact upon you, which could result in a bout of madness.
Which is also, back to the previous topics we're having,
Yeah,
are excellent tools for running a horror.
Yes.
that's great. Great point there. Okay, so here we have wow, I never thought about that. As you're saying that, I'm thinking, oh my, yes, it's the one player who now is turning against the company, and what that kind of dynamic brings to it, right?
Yeah.
That is really interesting. Okay, so we have here council sequence. So this would go along, I think, with the whole encounter, but it's a specialized encounter, right?
Yeah.
It's what they used to call an audience.
Mm-hmm.
You have an important social interaction to go through. This isn't you trying to buy bread at the merchant, but it's an important social thing when you're going to have an ask from the NPC, and this is how to run it as an encounter, and it helps with the role playing as well as gives you mechanics to roll for those people who are harder to role play. But
I like the dynamics a lot because you can kind of set it up ahead of time, and there's going to be advantages or disadvantages. Maybe they've got something against elves. Well, that's going to reduce your chances a little bit,
yeah.
et cetera, right?
Yeah.
In the old version, they had charts of how the DC changes if it's an elf talking to a dwarf,
Yes.
or a
so
wildling
there's tensions.
talking to
Mm-hmm.
a Schreier folk.
Yep. So and then it has journey rolls up here. I mean, that's going to be really handy because you're going to use it a lot whenever you're in journeys, like who's going to be doing what, reminding the Loremaster, if it's a scout, they're going to need, travel or whatever as their
Survival.
survival.
I think it's great for standard role-playing games as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, though all these aspects can be put into your average Forgotten Realms or Greyhawk adventure,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll only just make it better.
Oh, yeah.
And then over on the right-hand side, we have event resolution. So that's obviously favoring, like you've got combat you've got to work through, or other issues that you might have to figure out. Like, and that would be like, I would assume it's called the same thing in this as it is in the One Ring, like hazards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. And this is a key table down here, journey events table. And then you can see some of these, which is if I roll, you've got anything from a terrible misfortune down to a joyful sight. So there's lots of great options to pull from here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what do you think about how it's placed? Do you have any opinions?
I think that's organized well. We're all kind
I
of
think it's also ordered in the order that I need it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me really whether or not you show me the council or the travel first. I'm going to need all of that stuff. It's presenting the rules that are unique to the setting.
That's true.
As opposed to giving you a generic one.
Right.
I don't even use my Dungeon Master screen to put up in front of me anymore because it blocks my view.
Yep.
But
there's a sign of a veteran GM.
Yeah. I will keep one next to me for quick reference, and that one I may have up.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm playing the right game.
It's beautiful and it's not too tall, so it doesn't obscure your vision too much.
Yeah, landscape is always preferable to portrait. Portrait may have a fourth panel, giving maybe a little bit more information.
Right.
But I'm short.
Yeah.
So that's the Lord of the Rings role-playing game, Game Master or Loremaster screen.
Yes.
So next up is the starter set for the One Ring. Thank you.
And again, this is the same as the Lord of the Rings, but it's a different rule set, and the different ways you use the dice.
Yeah, that's right. It's a D12 is your main die, with intensifiers, which are D6s.
Yeah. Also known as success dice.
That's right.
It's challenge dice and success dice. Now, in the version of the starter set for the Lord of the Rings, it has obviously different dice. But the Eye of Sauron and the Gandalf Ruin are on the die 20s. So
That's
Gandalf Ruin is on the 20-sider. I mean, yeah, the 20. Eye of Sauron's on a 1, and they're still using the rules that if you're rolling for the monster,
Gandalf Ruin is a fail.
Is a fail. Yeah.
So what do we have here, Daniel?
We have a stubborn top.
A well-fitted box.
Yes. I can tell you that the construction of the top is very nice.
Okay. Does it have anything inside? Oh, we thought the same thing.
So this is empty.
Interesting, because the Shire one
it
had a map, didn't it? Inside?
Well, it had a map on one side, and the other side was your GM screen information.
Correct.
So we have, I think these are
bases.
Bases.
Yeah.
For characters.
Now, this is something that wasn't originally done.
That's correct.
Was to have character sequences, but you'll soon see how they're using it, which is different. Now, the Lord of the Rings starter set is going, like I said, it's going to have the exact same materials in here.
Okay.
So it actually gives you 2 options on how to run combat.
Interesting.
But let's go through this.
So what else do we have?
An advertisement for Free League.
Oh, very nice.
That's their little mini catalog.
Beautiful illustration. Yeah.
Yes. Getting started.
Right.
For the One Ring.
Do you want to show the dice? I don't know if everybody got a.
Oh yeah, I was showing that.
There we go.
Okay, those are the 6-sided dice. You'll notice on the 6s, they have a little rune there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And
that's the Tengwar rune, which shows that it's. Well, go ahead. Yeah.
It's an extra success.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is, in some ways, like in some role-playing systems, it's like it's a critical success, right?
Right.
Yeah.
This just gives you an extra die of success. So if you need 3 successes and you get 1 on the count and 1 with the die of 6, you've gotten 2 already.
Yeah. So we have a couple booklets. We've got the rules.
Okay, so they're going small. I like that.
Oh, you know what? If you don't mind, can you reach that starter set because I'm thinking I'm seeing some differences.
Okay.
Yeah. We also have over hill and under hill. I'm guessing that's the campaign.
All right, now let's take a look at some of the differences right away.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, so what was the first thing we looked at? Was the
rules.
The rules.
well, I was I don't even have my dice in this box, but this is the rules. No, that's not the rules.
No.
This is the rules,
There we go.
and they actually have
interesting.
different art on the front.
Interesting. So
Although
this,
there is a thematic similarity. Gandalf were riding, and
Yep.
I'm guessing that's an orc riding.
that's right. Both of them are mounted.
Yeah.
And this is winter,
I think
and this
the
is summer.
illustrations inside should be identical.
So that's
Because
combat.
that was the tradition, was that these things were in format. This
That's
is page
right.
13.
Page
Were
13.
identical to each other originally.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
It's where it says combat.
Okay.
Okay,
They are the
it
same.
is it's the same artwork,
Yeah.
but of course it's a slightly different layout because the rules are
Yes.
slightly different.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
So
going to affect
going to
layouts.
trade it.
Yeah.
On the back, I have
Ooh, yeah.
difficulty classes, journey events, sources of shadows, journey rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So as a quick reference on the back, because
here-
it doesn't come with the GM screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
on,
right,
on the
right.
back, we have die roll results, sources of shadow, misdeeds, journey rolls, wound severity,
Okay.
event target, and journey events.
So a
Wound-
little
wound
additional
severity.
stuff there.
That's interesting. I don't know if I have wound severity on here.
There's 3 types. There's moderate injury, severe injury, and grievous injury.
Yeah, that is 5th edition doesn't cover that.
Right, because it
But
wouldn't be on here.
you can get critical hits.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Mhm.
So okay, interesting.
You don't have a wounded
Right.
feature in the 5th edition.
Huh.
This is the Lord of the Rings role-playing over hill and under hill.
The introductory module.
Yep, and
Yeah.
as you can see, they're slightly different.
Oh, and that looks like the artwork for the screen here.
Right.
So that goes along with that.
And,
the 5e.
But I assume the story, again, inside is the same.
what I do find amusing is, so it looks kind of like they're on top of a hill there.
Mhm.
Looks like this could be just, that same hill, different perspective.
Same hill, different perspective, except for that one's not covered in orcs.
This is daytime, and this is after hours.
Yeah. And
even-
of course, the ravens, the spies of Sauron, are everywhere.
Yeah. Although this may just be before the barbecue and after the barbecue.
Right.
Well,
All right. So what's the next thing you want to show us?
So we have some characters.
okay. Oh, pre-gens.
Yeah,
I love
pre-generated
it.
characters.
These are NPCs.
No, they're not NPCs. They're actual your player
You can
character.
play these. Okay.
Yeah. So we have the Gira, daughter of Gutar,
Okay.
and
Okay.
right on the back you have the stats.
I really like
Okay,
how
and
second
here's
edition
Gira.
has
Mhm.
landscape instead of portrait.
Right. Well, landscape fits the One Ring,
One Ring.
character sheets
Yeah.
better,
Mhm.
and this fits the 5th edition screens better.
Do you remember though? First edition One Ring tour used to be portrait,
Right.
and I like how they've moved it to the landscape. I think that was
Yeah.
a good move.
So we also have Regina Stonefist,
Okay, a dwarf.
yeah, with stats.
And I'm curious with the 5e, yeah. So obviously you have skills, and they're either marked or not marked,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's going to be going along with 5e. Whereas as you can, for those who maybe are not as familiar, so from Brethel of the Havens is an elf, and you can see the ranks there is how many ranks she has in different skills. Those
Yeah.
are common skills.
Right. Another thing that is interesting to note is that we're using the same character classes or heroic culture
Yeah.
calling is being used just like this is. And we have skills for the 5th edition version that match there, like old lore, riddle, song, all those other things. Or in this case, it says performance. There's a skill for travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it use? Also, is it consistent with the One Ring of calling it heroic culture instead of the old phrase, which was race?
Heroic culture. Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
And it's the same thing in the 5th edition. 5th edition in general has gotten rid of the term race.
It's now species.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I like culture because I think it's more than just species. You know, it's.
Well, sure, you can be a dwarf, but you're raised in a different culture.
It's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like for in 5e they've moved away from race. It's now species.
Okay.
And well, all of that is a part of the origin, but you also have background, which is kind of like the culture.
Each person's story and where they came from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's not go each individual one. We want to see.
Okay.
So we've got
everything.
hobbits and wizards.
So what's the next thing? You got that map? Okay. So.
Ooh, this is a pretty big map.
Yeah, this is a decent map.
It's
But
pretty
make sure you show that side that you're showing out there first. This is
Oh, there we go.
the exact same map.
Eriador.
I also have currently with me Hawk's cloth map version of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, here's something that's going to surprise you. On the backs of these maps are the combat maps.
I think this is beautiful. At least, yes. Okay, they do the same one.
The exact-
Interesting. I love how they did this with the One Ring. I did not know 5e did the same.
So 5e gives you the two options. You can either do this type of combat
Okay.
with the stances,
Stances.
or you can go back to 5th edition grid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How interesting.
But this one is much closer to that one.
Yes, it is.
So that you have the same things.
Just show this gorgeous detail
The
if
knot
you
work.
can. The knot work. It's just phenomenal. When I saw this.
The artwork on these things are
They're beautiful.
above par.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the right amount of detail without getting too granular.
This is theater of the mind stuff.
Yep.
The rest is just art. Your place, you can use the same map for every single combat.
Yeah. And I know that we've had discussions about what I look for in maps. This is a type of map that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I don't want hyper detail.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I found when you get hyper detailed maps is people stop imagining what could be there. But then we also butt up against aphantasia as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. So what's
The
the
last thing in here
the
are
last thing, huh?
well,
I think there's some papers you're missing.
well.
Okay, don't you have one of these?
Oh, blank one?
Let's see here.
Okay,
So-
yeah, that's one right there.
Oh,
There we go. Oh, there we go. It was hidden amongst the characters.
It's the travel.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now-
right.
What I want to show you, because
I'm
I
curious-
was playing
curious how
this,
this is different.
and I prepped it different. In my preps,
I helped you prep with that.
yeah, of course you did. I pre-made the travels with the actual map here, so people can see,
Yep,
Everyone gets a personal map.
that's nice.
what their features are, where they're
Yeah.
going, and we keep track.
Yeah.
So it's the same one as this,
Okay.
except it's got a lot of the details already filled in,
Yeah.
Instead of the player drawing it themselves,
or the GM drawing it
or the
himself.
GM drawing it. Yeah.
Okay, now on the back of that form, you have a handout.
It's a letter.
Yep. This is your sponsor, patron.
Yep.
Your patron reaching out to you to start the adventure.
Yeah. Your call to action.
Very good.
Although, based off of the standard rules of the hero's journey, I have to deny this first. I have to
need
tell
this-
them no.
Has this been, authorized by,
The estate?
well, I was thinking more like somebody comes along with the stamp, like the notary public.
Yeah. So,
You want me to travel, but I have to go through TSA? No, thank
I want the fast pass.
Yeah.
So this is something new for both that wasn't in the first edition, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah.
Because not everybody has minis.
all right, these are the pawns. In the original 5th edition, the Adventures in Middle Earth, they didn't provide you anything that gave you the feel of it. You had to pick out miniatures from different games or different sets,
scales, all the
to
things.
try to find the right
so
ones.
hard.
So we got both of those things there.
So one of the things I'm noticing, because I this is me just being a stickler sometimes.
He's sticky.
When it comes to the art, I was checking if the front and the back were different.
They're not.
They're not.
They don't have. But again, also in their idea of stances, they don't need to, because you don't have facing.
Right. No, what I was thinking is, because we've got the dwarf here, and we can see his shield.
Should be his back. On the other
I
side.
should be able to see the back side of the shield, but no, it's okay.
Well,
Oh,
no,
wow.
I prefer my standees that have a different image on the front and the back image on the back. But this is perfectly acceptable.
Oh, it absolutely is.
I love the look of them. They're uniquely Tolkien-esque with...
It brings us right into it. It's immersive without being maybe cost prohibitive.
Right. And that's one of the things that I try to look for whenever I'm running games is I want immersion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to put up barriers towards that immersion.
And it's really hard when sometimes you have to choose in between, on the one hand, just going total theater of the mind versus outlaying a lot of money to really create, to have all the minis that you would want, for an ideal game.
Now, if I wanted to do a grid version of the map, I'd have to draw them myself, because this is the version of the maps that are in the module.
Yeah.
And this is really productive for theater of the mind. So is this. And you get your grid count. So one of the things I did before I took this out to actually be running it was that I took the pictures, enlarged into full pages so that I can show these out without having to go, now look at the other side of the book. No, you can't see it anymore because I got work to do.
Or you don't want to show them the whole page because there's something on the page that would give away something. Yeah. So you're trying to cover that. It can be a little bit awkward.
Right.
So yeah, I like that.
Now, what I stole, and I don't mean stole as in like legally removed it from somebody else's property, but one of the ideas I stole was from the original starter set for the One Ring 2nd edition, which it's called the Red Book. And that's what the module's called. Heroes of the Red Book, or something like that, but it's the Red Book. And I call it Oops, All Hobbits.
Oops, All Hobbits.
It's in the Shire. You don't get any weapons, I think, right?
Not for the first encounter.
Not in the first encounter.
But the funny thing is, there are some things in there that suggest that maybe you should have had weapons.
Exactly.
There's you can shoot a bow. What bow? None of my characters have a bow.
There's no bows here.
So, one of the things they had in there were these.
Oh.
Lookout, guide, all those things.
Really
nice.
handy
So
references.
you set that in front of you. It has all the information.
Yep.
And by the way, it works in 5th edition as well as One Ring, because it tells you what your position, close combat, and what your combat task is that you can do instead of an attack. And the quick rules that it says, like right here, if you're in forward, your attack rolls gain 1 die. All close combat attacks aimed at you gain 1 die. In translation to 5th edition, your attack rolls have advantage. All attack rolls against you have advantage. So this is a real good thing to immediately put out of them. Now, the big map that we have takes this one further, but this is still a nice thing to have people in front of them as translation tools.
Sure.
Especially when we're talking about the travel rules.
Yep.
And these are basically the same thing.
Yep. Reminds you of the rolls.
And so each of the players get one of those.
See, I just had a thought, and this is something that I'd probably do, and this is just a design thing, but I figured it'd be amazing. May I see one of those?
One of the cards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is just me being an artist. what I do with this is turn this into a compass rose.
Oh.
Okay.
Still have all the information, but now have that be a compass rose.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I like that.
I would love to have these for the 5th edition rules.
Yes.
Just to make it a little simpler on the players.
Sure.
I love that the maps tell you exactly what the combat map, what the benefits of each stance is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That was hard to
Actually,
remember.
do I see that? No.
Not on there.
It's not on there. So this is why this is coming.
Yeah.
Now the only other thing that I would add if I'm picking that out is I would put these back in there, and then I would take the weapon cards from the
Shire starter set.
The Shire starter set, so that people can have that readily handleable. The weapons cards. If we're going to do weapons cards, I'd have to make my own and change the stats on the back.
That's true, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's weapons cards and armor cards, I believe.
Yeah.
On that Shire starter
They're
set.
basically just equipment cards.
Yeah.
So, we're actually running out of time.
No, not again.
So, that was, any thoughts on the One Ring role-playing game?
I love the cover for the One Ring starter set.
Also, I didn't show the back.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think it's attractive. It's well balanced. I like that actually more than I really like the 5e, because sometimes I don't know. For me, it's the world building that Tolkien did.
Yeah.
That it really captures my imagination and brings me there. And then you have your battles and so forth within it.
Yeah.
But like, what are we fighting for? This doesn't tell me. Right, this shows me you're in it. It's dangerous. That's attractive in a sense because you realize that there's going to be danger, but this could be run of the mill anywhere.
Yeah,
that says Tolkien.
Yeah, as we were saying earlier about Freering.
Yep.
It's a journey that matters.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. And I've played both systems, but I cut my teeth on the One Ring.
Yeah.
And I love how it's a unique adaptation of Tolkien's material to a role-playing system that had not, been created before, but was brand new.
Yeah.
So.
I started with Dungeons and Dragons basic set when that first came out, so 1976, and I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons ever since. I love Dungeons and Dragons, but if I want to play Tolkien, I want to use the One Ring.
Yeah.
I like you said, it gets the feel better. This is doing an extraordinary effort to give us that feeling. But if I have a choice between the two, instead of playing the one that's trying to replicate that, I'll just go with that.
Yep. Go
The only reason I even used this starter set because I was going to the Renaissance Festival, and they want us to run Dungeons and Dragons, and I said, "Well, I can do the Lord of the Rings," and they're saying, "No, it's got to be Dungeons and Dragons," and I said, "Well, fortunately, the Lord of the Rings is Dungeons and Dragons."
It is. It's much easier transition for people. Yeah.
And we aren't here saying like, oh, Dungeons and Dragons everything, but we have to admit that most people when they think role-playing games, just like how when most people think of gelatin desserts, we're not thinking gelatin desserts or RPGs. We're thinking Dungeons and Dragons and Jello.
Yeah. The most well-known, famous brand of that kind of thing.
Yes. So, this has been the RPG Talk Show. My name has been Daniel Ivey. This has been
Brian Huseland.
Yes, and
I'm John Welker. Brian Huseland's Substack will be in the doobly-doo. It's really funny how hard it is to say made-up words sometimes.
all the words are made up.
Yes, all of them. But your Substack will be listed in the credits and in the doobly-doo. So we got that going.
Yeah. It has been this show has been brought to you by RPG Research in cooperation with the USS Bismarck, the Inland Empire's Star Trek Fan Association. Comments, questions, and suggestions should be directed to info@rpgresearch.com with the subject line including RPG Talk Show.
Next week, our topic will be entertainment as our main topic. We'll have other things to open, etc.
Yep.
Like perhaps we will get into BattleTech, or maybe
Oh boy.
one of our loot crates.
Oh, cool.
So, see you next week. Good night and
Dream well.